cosm. Whoosh.
What lies beyond the solar system? The question sounds simple, almost childlike. Yet behind it rests the most profound curiosity our species has ever carried. We live inside a bubble of light and warmth, bound to a star we call the sun. But everything we know, the Earth, the planets, the moons, the asteroids, the comets, sits within this single stellar system. Step outside, and you enter a realm that defies imagination. A realm that has no edge we can see, no center we can reach, and no map we can finish drawing. The solar system itself is already vast beyond comprehension. From the blazing furnace of the sun to the frozen edges where Pluto drifts, the distance is nearly 6 billion kilometers. A number so large it resists meaning. But the solar system doesn't end there, not even close. Around us is a boundary known as the heliosphere, an invisible bubble inflated by the solar wind. This wind, charged particles streaming outward from the sun, pushes against the thin gas between the stars, carving out a protective cocoon. Think of it as the atmosphere of the solar system, stretched across billions of miles. Beyond this boundary lies true interstellar space. For decades, that edge remained theoretical, a place astronomers spoke of but could not confirm. Then came the Voyagers. Launched in 1977, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 were built to tour the giant planets. They carried cameras, detectors, instruments, and a golden record of Earth sounds and images, our cosmic greeting card. But after completing their planetary missions, the Voyagers kept going. Past Neptune, past Pluto, into the dark. In 2012, Voyager 1 crossed the heliopause, the line where the solar wind yields to the interstellar medium. It became the first human-made object to leave the solar system. Voyager 2 followed in 2018. Both probes now drift through the space between stars, their instruments still whispering data home across billions of kilometers. Each faint signal takes over 18 hours to reach us. Every word is precious. With them, humanity has stepped into the galaxy. But what exactly lies outside? First, we encounter the Oort cloud. Not a cloud in the earthly sense, but a swarm of icy bodies surrounding the solar system in a vast, spherical shell. Stretching perhaps a light year from the sun, the Oort cloud is the birthplace of long-period comets. These ancient remnants of planetary formation have waited in deep freeze for billions of years, disturbed only when passing stars or galactic tides nudge them inward. The Oort cloud is our solar frontier, a borderland between what belongs to the sun and what belongs to the galaxy. And yet, we've never seen it directly. It's too far, too dim, too cold. Its existence is inferred, a ghostly presence implied by the comets that occasionally dive into the inner solar system. Beyond the Oort cloud, the sun's gravity still lingers, but faintly. Out there, another star's pull may rival our own. Interstellar space is not empty. It is filled with the interstellar medium, a thin fog of hydrogen and helium, laced with dust grains forged in the hearts of dying stars. For every cubic centimeter of space, just a handful of atoms drift. Yet across light years, this tenuous matter adds up. It shapes nebulae, fuels the birth of stars, and carries the chemical seeds of planets and life. As the Voyagers move outward, their instruments detect this medium. They measure plasma density, magnetic fields, cosmic rays. They confirm that the void between stars is alive with invisible currents, ripples, and storms. Space is not a silent vacuum. It hums with energy. For the first time, we touch the galaxy itself, not just the bubble our star has blown. And what of the stars themselves? Beyond the solar system lies the rest of the Milky Way, hundreds of billions of suns scattered like diamonds in the dark. The nearest, Proxima Centauri, glows faintly just over 4 light-years away. At first glance, 4 light-years doesn't sound impossible. But even at Voyager's speed, about 17 kilometers per second, it would take more than 70,000 years to arrive. Generations would pass. Civilizations might rise and fall. Our probes are eternal pilgrims, never to return, never to arrive. Still, their journey is symbolic. They remind us that the solar system is not an island. It is one star's retinue among countless others. Step outside and the scale changes. The playground is the galaxy. The Milky Way itself is vast beyond reckoning. 100,000 light-years across, home to stars, nebulae, black holes, and spiral arms that swirl like cosmic hurricanes. From Earth, we see only a strip of its disk, a band of hazy light arching across the night sky. But to step outside the solar system is to realize that we are embedded in this giant city of stars. Our sun is one household in a metropolis of billions. Between the stars, the interstellar medium becomes the stage for creation. Clouds of gas collapse under gravity, igniting newborn stars. Shockwaves from supernovae sweep through, seeding the galaxy with heavier elements. Carbon, oxygen, iron. These atoms once blazed in stellar furnaces, and now they drift between the suns, waiting to be assembled into planets and life. Outside the solar system, the very materials of existence float in cosmic rivers. Beyond the Milky Way, there are galaxies beyond number. But even before we reach them, the neighborhood is rich. The sun belongs to a local group of stars moving together through space, weaving patterns of motion shaped by unseen gravity. Dark matter, that invisible glue of the universe, exerts its pull. It sculpts not just galaxies, but the empty gulfs between them. What lies outside the solar system is not just a new geography. It is the entire architecture of the cosmos. And then comes perspective. Imagine Earth again. A blue dot circling a yellow star, cocooned in a heliosphere, itself surrounded by an Oort cloud, drifting in a galaxy among hundreds of billions. Step further back, and galaxies become specks in a cosmic web. Step further still, and the universe itself becomes the horizon. Each time we ask, what lies outside? We discover that the answer is both greater and stranger than we imagined. This is not just science. It is a story of exploration, of curiosity, of human longing. For when we ask what lies outside the solar system, we are also asking, what lies outside ourselves? What lies beyond the limits we once thought unbreakable? Each frontier crossed redefines who we are. The solar system is our cradle, but it is not our prison. Outside, the galaxy awaits, and beyond the galaxy, the universe. The farther we look, the more we see ourselves reflected in the stars. Because in truth, what lies outside is not foreign, it is kin. We are made of the same atoms, born of the same physics, carried by the same laws of nature. To look outward is to look inward. And so, the journey continues. When we leave the solar system behind, the first treasures we find are other worlds. Not ours, not tethered to our sun, but planets circling alien stars. For centuries, these planets were only speculation. Philosophers wondered, poets dreamed, and astronomers searched in vain. Stars looked like eternal fires, too pure to host companions. But in 1992, everything changed. Astronomers detected the first confirmed exoplanets orbiting a pulsar, dead remnants of a once-living star. Soon after, worlds around sun-like stars followed. The universe cracked open, revealing itself to be crowded with planets. Today, we know of more than 5,000 exoplanets. The list grows with every passing month as telescopes like Kepler, TESS, and the James Webb Space Telescope scan the skies. And the truth is staggering. Planets are not rare. They are the rule. Nearly every star you see at night probably has at least one. Some systems boast dozens. Some harbor giants larger than Jupiter. Some host rocky worlds smaller than Earth. And some display orbits so strange they defy our imagination. Outside the solar system, planets bloom like wildflowers across the galaxy. But which of these worlds could be like ours? Astronomers focus on the so-called habitable zone, the region around a star where liquid water might exist on a planet's surface. It is a simple definition, yet profound. Water is the solvent of life as we know it, the medium where chemistry becomes biology. Earth resides comfortably in the sun's habitable zone. Could other worlds enjoy the same fortune? Kepler 452b, nicknamed Earth's cousin, lies 1,400 light-years away. It orbits in its star's habitable zone. TRAPPIST-1, A small star just 40 light-years distant hosts 7 rocky planets, 3 of which may sustain oceans. Proxima Centauri b, the closest known exoplanet, orbits our nearest stellar neighbor. These are not science fiction settings. They are real places, existing here and now, awaiting exploration. Outside the solar system, the dream of other Earths is no longer a fantasy, it is an observation. Yet a habitable zone does not guarantee habitability. Some planets are scorched by stellar flares. Others are tidally locked, with one face forever turned toward their star, and the other cloaked in endless night. Many may be barren deserts or frozen wastelands, but even so, the search continues. Every detection teaches us more about planetary diversity. The cosmos is not a clone factory. It is an artist, painting with infinite variation. Beyond the planets lie mysteries more elusive still. Many exoplanets are hot Jupiters, gas giants orbiting perilously close to their stars, whipping around in mere days. Others are rogue planets, wandering the galaxy without a star at all, drifting like orphans through interstellar space. Imagine a planet the size of Jupiter, wrapped in eternal night, its only warmth from radioactive decay deep inside. If such worlds exist, and evidence suggests they do, then life might find a way even in the darkness between stars. What lies outside the solar system, then, is not just familiar landscapes transplanted elsewhere. It is the unexpected, worlds that bend the rules, systems that defy prediction, and environments we have yet to imagine. Each new discovery rewrites our textbooks, expanding the boundaries of the possible. And life itself, what of that? Outside the solar system, the question becomes urgent. We are not merely cataloging planets. We are hunting for companions. Perhaps bacterial life beneath the ice of a distant moon. Perhaps forests and oceans on a rocky world around a distant sun. Perhaps signals, faint and deliberate, from minds as curious as ours. For decades, SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, has scanned the skies for radio whispers. So far, silence. But silence does not mean emptiness. The universe is vast, and our search has only just begun. Imagine standing at the shore of an ocean, dipping in a thimble, and declaring there are no fish. That is the stage we are in. We've barely started listening. To search for life, we study atmospheres. With instruments like the James Webb Space Telescope, astronomers can analyze the starlight that filters through a planet's air. If they detect oxygen, methane, or other disequilibrium gases, it may hint at biology. The technique is young, the data sparse, but the potential is enormous. Outside the solar system, we may soon glimpse signs of living chemistry on worlds dozens or hundreds of light years away. We may never touch them, never breathe their air, yet know they are alive. But suppose we do wish to go there. Suppose humanity decides that curiosity is not enough, that we must step into the galaxy not just with machines, but with ourselves. Interstellar travel is the greatest technical challenge we can imagine. At Voyager's pace, the nearest star takes tens of millennia. Chemical rockets, our current method, will never suffice. We need new ideas. Fusion propulsion, solar sails, antimatter drives, even hypothetical warp bubbles. Projects like Breakthrough Starshot envision tiny probes pushed by powerful lasers, flying at a fraction of light speed to reach Alpha Centauri within a human lifetime. Ambitious? Yes. Impossible? Not necessarily. Outside the solar system, distance is the enemy. But distance can be conquered with imagination. Even so, the galaxy does not yield easily. Radiation, collisions, isolation all stand as barriers. But history teaches us that barriers are temporary. The ocean was once a barrier. The sky was once a barrier. The atom was once a barrier. Each frontier we faced became a stepping stone. So it may be with the stars. And while we ponder travel, the cosmos itself continues its dance. Outside the solar system lies the Milky Way's full machinery. Pulsars that spin with lighthouse precision, neutron stars dense enough that a teaspoon outweighs mountains, black holes that warp space and swallow light. These are not abstractions. They are neighbors shaping the galaxy's ecology. Supernovae enrich the interstellar medium, scattering the elements of life. Black holes anchor the centers of galaxies. Cosmic rays sweep through space, influencing atmospheres and perhaps even evolution. To step outside the solar system is to step into this cathedral of extremes. Even stranger is the unseen. Dark matter outweighs normal matter 5 to 1. It binds galaxies together, sculpting the cosmic web. We cannot see it, cannot touch it, but its gravity is undeniable. Dark energy, more mysterious still, accelerates the universe's expansion, pushing galaxies apart faster and faster. Outside the solar system, these invisible forces dominate. They are the stage on which all stars and planets perform. And yet, amid the immensity, there is intimacy. Every star we see is a potential sun. Every planet we find is a potential home. Every molecule drifting in interstellar space is kin to the atoms in our bodies. We are not spectators of this universe, we are participants. The cosmos is not out there. It is in here, coursing through us, written in our DNA, embedded in every breath. So what lies outside the solar system? It is the promise of discovery, the certainty of wonder, the possibility of life, the inevitability of surprise. It is the story of everything that is not us, and yet, somehow, still part of us. For when we look outward, we are always, in some way, looking back at ourselves. Outside the solar system, stars are not solitary beacons. Many are born together in families called star clusters. These clusters are cosmic nurseries, where hundreds or thousands of suns ignite from the same collapsing cloud of gas. The Pleiades, the Hyades, Omega Centauri. These are stellar neighborhoods, bound by gravity, glittering like jewels in the dark. To step outside the solar system is to realize that stars are social creatures. They come into existence as siblings, dancing together before drifting apart across the galaxy. Clusters are more than ornaments in the sky. They are laboratories of stellar evolution. In their glowing cradles, we see stars at every stage of life. Some newborn, still wrapped in veils of dust. Others ancient, burning out their final fuel. By studying clusters, we glimpse our sun's own childhood. 4.5 billion years ago, our star too was likely born in a cluster, alongside siblings now scattered across the Milky Way. Somewhere out there, they shine still, cousins to our sun, unseen but connected. Beyond clusters lie the great spiral arms of the Milky Way. These arms are not solid structures but waves of density, compressing gas and dust, triggering star formation. Our solar system resides in a minor spur called the Orion Arm, tucked between two major lanes of stars, Sagittarius and Perseus. From Earth, we see only a ribbon of light across the sky, but in truth we are inside a colossal whirlpool of suns. To venture outside the solar system is to begin a journey through this rotating city of light, where stars rise and fall like skyscrapers in an endless metropolis. And what powers these stars? At their cores, nuclear fusion fuses hydrogen into helium, releasing energy that shines across space. But stars are not eternal. Some live for trillions of years, glowing faintly as red dwarfs. Others burn furiously, ending in violent deaths after only millions of years. Outside the solar system, these deaths become markers of cosmic drama. Supernovae, explosions brighter than galaxies, seed the interstellar medium with gold, uranium, calcium, the very atoms in our bones. Black holes, remnants of massive stars, warp spacetime itself, creating regions from which not even light can escape. Neutron stars, their lighter cousins, are so dense that a teaspoon of matter outweighs mountains. The galaxy is not serene. It is alive with birth and death, with destruction and renewal. Among these extremes lies another wonder: binary stars. In fact, most stars in the galaxy are not alone but paired, locked in orbits around each other. Some pairs live in harmony, circling gently. Others are catastrophic, with one star siphoning gas from the other, creating disks of incandescent fury. Outside the solar system, these binaries remind us that the sun is the exception, not the rule. Solitude is rare. Companionship is common. Beyond binaries, there are entire star systems unlike anything we know. Triple systems, quadruple systems, stars circled by multiple planets and moons, all entangled in gravity's dance. For centuries, such arrangements seemed impossible. Yet the universe thrives on complexity. What lies outside the solar system are not echoes of our familiar structure, but endless variations sculpted by physics and chance. As we move farther still, the scale of our journey expands. Our solar system is part of the Orion Arm, which itself winds around the center of the Milky Way. And there, at the galaxy's heart, lies the most mysterious of neighbors, a supermassive black hole, Sagittarius A-, 4 million times the mass of the Sun, lurks 26,000 light-years away. Invisible, yet betrayed by the orbits of nearby stars whipping around it at blistering speeds. This monster anchors the Milky Way, holding it together with gravity's invisible leash. Outside the solar system, we live in its domain, even if we cannot see it. Our entire galaxy, every star and planet, orbits this central abyss. And the Milky Way is not alone. It belongs to a community, a local group of galaxies bound together. The Andromeda Galaxy looms largest, 2.5 million light-years away, a spiral larger than our own, shining faintly in the northern sky. It is not static. It is moving toward us on a collision course. In 4 billion years, Andromeda and the Milky Way will merge, creating a single elliptical galaxy. Outside the solar system, the future is written in gravitational scripts. Galaxies are not eternal islands. They are actors in a cosmic ballet of collision and creation. Collisions sound violent, but in truth, stars within galaxies are so far apart that most pass by unharmed. The drama plays out on scales too vast for human fear. Instead of destruction, collisions bring rebirth. Waves of star formation, bursts of light, new worlds emerging from chaos. What lies outside the solar system, then, is not just empty distance, but a future we cannot escape. The galaxy itself is evolving, and we are passengers in its journey. And beyond our local group, more galaxies, billions, they cluster together in superclusters, woven into a cosmic web that stretches across the universe. Filaments of galaxies thread through space, separated by enormous voids where hardly a star exists. Step outside the solar system far enough, and the Milky Way becomes a single bead on a cosmic necklace. Step further, and even the necklace dissolves into a web whose scale dwarfs imagination. Here, the question transforms. It is no longer what lies outside the solar system. It becomes what lies outside the galaxy, and then what lies outside the universe itself. Each time, the horizon recedes. The more we learn, the more vastness opens before us. Knowledge does not shrink mystery, it magnifies it. And yet, humanity persists. We build telescopes that peer across billions of light-years. We measure the afterglow of the Big Bang, the faint whisper of creation itself. We model dark matter halos, simulate galaxy collisions, and map exoplanets in orbits we cannot visit. Every discovery pushes back the frontier of ignorance, even as the unknown expands faster than our understanding. Outside the solar system is not just geography. It is philosophy. It is the confrontation between a finite mind and an infinite stage. And in that confrontation lies meaning. For what greater act can a species perform than to look outward and ask, what else is there? Outside the solar system lies our destiny, our challenge, our reflection. It is where science and wonder meet, where numbers become poetry, where discovery becomes identity. The solar system is where we were born. The galaxy is where we belong. Step outside the solar system far enough, and even the Milky Way fades into context. It becomes one spiral among billions, each with its own stories, its own suns, its own planets. But galaxies themselves are not the final frontier. They are actors on a stage set against the grandest background of all, the universe itself. To grasp what lies outside the solar system, we must follow this path to its ultimate horizon. Some galaxies shine with ordinary starlight. Others blaze with extraordinary fury, powered not by stars but by black holes. These are quasars, the brightest beacons in the cosmos. At their hearts, supermassive black holes gorge on surrounding matter, releasing torrents of energy as gas spirals inward. A single quasar can outshine an entire galaxy, visible across billions of light-years. To peer at a quasar is to look into the ancient past, to see the universe when it was young and violent. Outside the solar system lies not only calm starlight but cataclysms that illuminate creation itself. Beyond quasars, the light grows older still. When we point our instruments in every direction, we detect a faint glow, the cosmic microwave background. This radiation is the afterglow of the Big Bang, released when the universe was just 380,000 years old. It is the oldest light we can see, stretched into microwaves by the expansion of space. In its mottled pattern, astronomers read the blueprint of the cosmos. The seeds of galaxies, the curvature of space, the density of matter. To look at this glow is to stand at the edge of time. Outside the solar system, beyond every galaxy, lies the memory of creation itself. Yet even here, questions multiply. The observable universe extends about 46 billion light-years in every direction. Not because the universe is that young, but because space itself expands. Light from distant galaxies has traveled for billions of years, yet the fabric of the universe has stretched, carrying them farther away. What lies beyond this horizon we cannot see. Perhaps more galaxies, countless and unreachable. Perhaps structures beyond imagining. The universe may be finite but unbounded, or infinite with no edge. Outside the solar system, the horizon is not physical. It is conceptual, a boundary drawn by the speed of light and the age of time. And what of other universes? Some theories suggest that ours is not alone. The idea of a multiverse arises from both cosmology and quantum mechanics. Inflation theory, which describes the rapid expansion after the Big Bang, implies that our universe may be just one bubble in a vast cosmic foam. Quantum theory suggests parallel realities branching from every possibility. These ideas are speculative but profound. If true, then outside the solar system lies not only the galaxy, not only the universe, but an endless sea of universes, each with its own laws, constants, and stories. In some, stars may never ignite. In others, life may bloom in forms we cannot fathom. Between these cosmic scales, we confront another puzzle. Why does the universe look the way it does? Why is it so finely tuned for complexity, for life? The force of gravity, the strength of electromagnetism, the mass of the electron, all seem delicately balanced. Change them slightly and stars might never form, atoms might never exist, chemistry might never awaken into biology. Outside the solar system, then, we find not only geography but philosophy. Are these balances chance, necessity, or evidence of countless other universes where the constants differ, and we simply live in the one that allows observers? Even within our own universe, mysteries abound. Dark matter and dark energy dominate, yet remain unseen. We infer their presence by their effects. Galaxies rotate too quickly, the cosmos expands too fast. Together, these dark components account for 95% of everything. The stars, planets, and atoms we know, the solar system included, are but a sliver of reality. Outside the solar system, most of existence is invisible. We live on an island of light in an ocean of darkness. And still, we search. We build instruments that detect ripples in space-time, gravitational waves from colliding black holes and neutron stars. These waves reveal cosmic events hidden from light. Each detection expands our senses, turning the universe into a symphony not only of photons but of space-time vibrations. The solar system is silent in comparison. Outside, the cosmos roars with signals we are only just beginning to hear. Beyond even these frontiers lies the ultimate question. Does the universe have an end? Some models predict eternal expansion, galaxies drifting apart until stars burn out and black holes evaporate. A cold, dark fate called the heat death. Others suggest cycles, with expansion giving way to collapse, birthing a new cosmos in an endless rhythm. Still others imagine a cosmic acceleration tearing space itself apart in a big rip. Outside the solar system, the story of the universe becomes not just where we are, but where we are going. Yet, in the face of these cosmic scales, we remain small. And that smallness is not despair, but wonder. We are a species that can contemplate not only the planets beyond our sun, but the very fate of all creation. We can trace our atoms to supernovae, our light to fusion, our questions to the Big Bang. Outside the solar system lies not emptiness, but the very canvas on which existence is painted. It is not separate from us. It is us extended. Imagine a timeline of the universe, from its fiery birth to its distant fate. The solar system is a blink. Humanity is a whisper within that blink. Yet here we are, asking questions whose answers stretch across eternity. This is what makes our search extraordinary. The act of asking expands the universe within us, as surely as galaxies expand beyond us. The more we seek, the more we belong to the cosmos. So when we ask, what lies outside the solar system? We are not only asking about stars, planets, or galaxies. We are asking about boundaries and the courage to cross them. We are asking what it means to live in a universe so vast that even light cannot bridge its entirety. We are asking who we are and what role we play in this unfolding story, because the solar system is not a cage. It is a beginning. Outside it lies everything else. And in that everything, perhaps, lies the answer not only to what exists, but why existence is possible at all. Step outside the solar system, and the cosmos is no longer only a map of stars and galaxies. It becomes a mirror, reflecting questions not of physics, but of destiny. For if the galaxy is vast, then what role does humanity play within it? We are more than observers. We are dreamers, builders, storytellers, daring to imagine a future among the stars. The first truth of that future is scale. The distances beyond the solar system are not merely large, they are overwhelming. Light takes years to bridge even the nearest stars, millennia to cross clusters, millions of years to traverse the galaxy. For most of history, such scales would have crushed ambition. Yet now we see them as challenges, not barriers. The very act of knowing these numbers compels us to face them. Outside the solar system, distance is both obstacle and invitation. Consider what civilizations older than ours might achieve. Our species has held technology for only a flicker of cosmic time, yet already we've reached the moon, probed the outer planets, and set our machines adrift in interstellar space. If we can accomplish this in a few thousand years of recorded history, what might a million-year-old civilization achieve? Outside the solar system, perhaps there are societies that harvest the energy of entire stars, that travel between worlds as easily as we cross oceans, that weave habitats in the emptiness between suns. We have no evidence of them, but neither do we have certainty of their absence. The silence of the universe is not proof of loneliness. It is an unfinished conversation. This silence is known as the Fermi paradox. Where are they? If life is common, if civilizations arise, why do we not see them? The paradox forces us to consider possibilities. Perhaps intelligent life is rare, a spark that seldom ignites. Perhaps civilizations self-destruct before they spread. Perhaps they are here but hidden, choosing not to reveal themselves. Or perhaps the galaxy is teeming with life, but the distances are so immense that we are like isolated villages on a planet-wide ocean, unaware of one another. Outside the solar system, the paradox deepens, becoming less a question of astronomy than of philosophy. Are we alone, or are we too young to notice the others? If we are alone, then the responsibility is immense. We are the sole voice of consciousness in a silent cosmos, the only witness to stars and galaxies. If we are not alone, then the cosmos is richer still, a tapestry of minds spread across light years. Either answer humbles us, both inspire us. Outside the solar system, we do not only seek planets or galaxies, we seek kinship, however strange, however distant. And so we imagine interstellar arcs, carrying generations of travelers across centuries. Sleeper ships, where humans hibernate until they reach another star. Probes with artificial intelligence, designed to survive and adapt long after we are gone. Even the notion of uploading consciousness, sending not bodies but minds as data across the void. These are not only science fiction. They are thought experiments that stretch our vision. To ask what lies outside the solar system is to ask what lies beyond the limits of biology, of mortality, of the human condition itself. But perhaps the most profound realization is that we are already connected. The atoms in our blood were born in distant stars. The oxygen we breathe, the carbon that forms us, the calcium in our bones, all forged beyond Earth, beyond the solar system, in explosions that occurred before the sun was born. We are not merely travelers to the stars. We are of the stars. To look outward is to return home. This perspective reshapes how we live here now. If outside the solar system lies the entirety of the galaxy and beyond, then Earth is a fragile oasis in an endless desert. Our pale blue dot, suspended in a sunbeam, is unique not because it is central, but because it is ours. No matter how far we travel, no matter how many worlds we find, this will always be our origin, the cradle of our species. To protect Earth is not provincial. It is cosmic responsibility. The story of what lies beyond the solar system is also the story of time. Stars are born, live, and die. Galaxies collide, merge, and fade. Even the universe itself has a trajectory. Compared to these scales, human history is less than a heartbeat. Yet it is a heartbeat that counts. For in this brief moment, we have opened our eyes. We have asked the question. We have imagined what lies outside. And that act alone makes us part of the cosmic story. Future generations may look back on this era as the dawn of interstellar humanity. They may see the Voyager probes, carrying golden records into eternity, as our first whispers to the galaxy. They may see our telescopes as the first eyes of a child, wide with wonder. They may see our science fiction as prophecy, our ambition as destiny. Outside the solar system, our legacy is not only what we discover, but how we dared to seek. And there is poetry in that daring. We send machines, but what we truly send is curiosity. We study stars, but what we truly study is possibility. We map galaxies, but what we truly map is hope. The solar system is our classroom. The universe is our frontier. To ask what lies beyond is to embrace that frontier, to step into the dark with trust that light awaits. One day, perhaps far from now, our descendants may stand on a planet orbiting another sun. They may look back at Earth as myth, as memory, as home. They may live under alien constellations, breathe alien air, and tell stories of the first journeys outward. They will not think of the solar system as cage or cradle, but as threshold, place once crossed, never forgotten. What lies outside will have become what lies within. So we return to the question, what lies outside the solar system? The answer is galaxies, quasars, cosmic webs, and perhaps other universes. But it is also imagination, destiny, and meaning. It is the place where physics meets philosophy, where science meets spirit, where knowledge meets wonder. Outside the solar system lies everything we do not yet know, and everything we hope to become. And in that truth lies the conclusion. The solar system is not the boundary of our story. It is the opening line. Outside it lies the universe. And in that universe, we are not strangers. We are participants. We are home. Outside the solar system lies a frontier not only of space, but of knowledge. For every light year that separates us from the stars, there is a question waiting to be asked. And the tools we build, our telescopes, our detectors, our theories, are the vessels that carry us across this ocean of ignorance. Consider the telescopes of today. The James Webb Space Telescope peers into the infrared, unveiling galaxies born in the earliest epochs. Ground-based observatories, armed with adaptive optics, strip away the blur of Earth's atmosphere, giving us clarity that rivals orbit. The Vera Rubin Observatory, soon to scan the heavens with unblinking eyes, will map the sky in unprecedented detail, capturing the dance of stars, asteroids, and galaxies in real time. Outside the solar system, these tools are our lanterns in the dark. Each photon they catch a messenger from the beyond. But telescopes are not the end. Quantum sensors promise to measure space-time distortions with unimaginable precision. Gravitational wave observatories like LIGO and its successors already detect the shudders of colliding black holes. Future space-based arrays will hear even deeper notes of this cosmic symphony, tracing the whispers of merging supermassive black holes across the universe. Outside the solar system, the cosmos speaks not only in light but in waves of gravity, and we are learning to listen. And then there is the dream of direct exploration. Projects like Breakthrough Starshot envision fleets of gram-sized probes, driven by powerful lasers, sailing toward Alpha Centauri at a fifth the speed of light. In a few decades, such probes could deliver the first close-up images of another planetary system. They would not be large nor human, but their achievement would be staggering. It would mark the first time in history that our species reached another star. Outside the solar system, ambition becomes navigation, and dreams become destinations. Yet even as technology advances, the cosmos challenges us with silence. SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, has scanned the skies for decades, listening for radio signals, optical pulses, even signs of engineered megastructures. So far, no confirmed detection. Some see this as disappointment. Others see it as motivation. The silence is not emptiness. It is mystery. Perhaps civilizations use technologies we do not yet imagine. Perhaps they communicate in mediums beyond light and radio. Perhaps they are rare or cautious or distant. Outside the solar system, the absence of voices is itself a message. That discovery requires patience, humility, and persistence. The search for life will not end with silence. We are already probing the atmospheres of distant exoplanets for chemical fingerprints of biology. The next generation of telescopes may reveal oxygen, methane, or water vapor on worlds tens or hundreds of light years away. Imagine the moment when a spectrum of starlight reveals not only rock and gas, but signs of metabolism, of chemistry out of equilibrium, of life. That discovery would be profound, not because it proves we are not alone, but because it shows life is not a miracle reserved for Earth. It is a pattern the universe writes more than once. Outside the solar system, life may not only exist, it may be common. But what of intelligence? What of consciousness? Here the cosmos offers no guidance, only possibility. Intelligence has arisen once that we know, on one small world orbiting one star. Perhaps it is vanishingly rare. Perhaps it is inevitable wherever life endures long enough. Consciousness may be the universe awakening to itself, or it may be a fragile accident. Outside the solar system, the potential for minds unlike ours exists. Minds that see in spectra we cannot, that think in patterns we cannot, that imagine realities beyond our reach. To meet such minds would be to meet new ways of being. And yet, even without contact, the act of searching transforms us. For in seeking others, we clarify ourselves. In asking if the universe holds neighbors, we sharpen our understanding of what it means to be human. Outside the solar system, we may or may not find companions, but we will always find perspective. That perspective is already shaping our future. Space agencies, private companies, and international collaborations are laying plans to extend humanity outward. Lunar bases, Martian colonies, asteroid mining, all are stepping stones. They are not the destination, but the preparation. To leave the solar system, we must first learn to thrive beyond Earth, to sustain ourselves on worlds that are not our own. Every rocket launched, every rover landed, every habitat tested is rehearsal for a stage beyond the sun. But the greatest frontier may not be physical at all. It may be the frontier of thought. As artificial intelligence grows, as biotechnology evolves, as humanity integrates with its own creations, we may become a species capable of surviving journeys our biology never could. Consciousness may travel as information, as code riding beams of light, as digital voyagers crossing the galaxy. Outside the solar system, the travelers of the future may not resemble the humans of today, yet they will carry the same spark, the drive to explore, to know, to wonder. The cosmos itself may hold keys we have yet to unlock. Wormholes, if they exist, could bend space-time, linking distant stars. Exotic physics might reveal shortcuts through the vastness. Quantum entanglement may one day enable communication across light years. These are ideas at the edge of science, fragile but enticing. Outside the solar system, possibility stretches as far as imagination, and imagination has always been humanity's most powerful tool. And so we return to the question, what lies outside the solar system? We have traced the journey from the heliosphere to the Oort cloud, from exoplanets to galaxies, from quasars to cosmic horizons. We have asked about life, intelligence, technology, and the fate of the universe itself. The answer, finally, is both simple and infinite. Outside the solar system lies everything we do not yet know. But perhaps the most important truth is this: we are not separate from what lies beyond. The elements of our bodies were forged in stars across the galaxy. The light that warms our days is the same light that illuminates distant worlds. The laws of physics that govern our hearts govern the motions of galaxies. To ask what lies outside the solar system is not to look away from ourselves, but to look deeper into who we are. The solar system is small, but it is also sacred. It is where we learn to stand, to think, to dream. Outside it, the universe waits, not as a stranger, but as kin. We will never finish the journey, because the journey has no end. But each step outward brings us closer, not to a final destination, but to an ever-expanding horizon of wonder. And so the conclusion is not closure but invitation. What lies outside the solar system is not only galaxies and stars, but the future of our species, the destiny of our curiosity, the infinite canvas on which our story unfolds. The solar system is chapter 1. The universe is the book, and we, fragile and luminous, are its authors. Outside the solar system, distance becomes not just a measure of space, but of time. Light from the nearest star takes 4 years to reach us. Light from Andromeda began its journey 2.5 million years ago, when the first humans were just learning to shape stone. The galaxies we see at the edge of the observable universe are snapshots from billions of years in the past, when stars were young and planets had not yet formed. To look outside the solar system is to look backward through history. Every photon is an ancient messenger, carrying news across ages, telling us not only where we are, but when we are. This time travel of light teaches us humility. We exist in the present, yet the universe we see is layered with ghosts of the past. The stars above us shimmer not as they are, but as they were. Some may already be gone, their light still crossing the void, a farewell arriving centuries late. Outside the solar system, every glance is a dialogue with eternity. Eternity, however, is not abstract. It shapes us. Human civilizations rise and fall in the blink of a cosmic eye. Empires fade, languages vanish, monuments crumble, yet the stars remain. Long after our cities are dust, the constellations will still adorn the night. And yet, even stars are temporary. The Milky Way itself will evolve, collide, transform. Outside the solar system, permanence is an illusion. Change is the only constant. So what does it mean to live, to love, to hope in such a universe? Perhaps it means to embrace impermanence, to recognize that our fleeting lives are still woven into cosmic fabric. The atoms in our bodies will outlast us, journeying through air, soil, ocean, and eventually into stars yet unborn. We are not passengers of time, we are part of time's flow. Outside the solar system, time is vast, but it includes us. The question, what lies outside the solar system, becomes more than scientific. It becomes personal. For each of us carries an inner universe of memory, of imagination, of longing. When we look outward, we project ourselves upon the stars. We see possibility because we yearn for it. We ask if life exists elsewhere because we cannot bear to believe existence is confined to this single world. The cosmos outside becomes a canvas for our deepest desires and fears. It is not only physics, it is psychology. Memory itself is a kind of cosmos. It contains galaxies of moments, nebulae of dreams, black holes of grief. Just as light travels across billions of years, our memories travel across decades, shaping who we are. In the same way that astronomers reconstruct the history of the universe from faint signals, we reconstruct ourselves from the whispers of the past. Outside the solar system lies a cosmos of stars. Inside us lies a cosmos of meaning. The two are reflections of one another. And so, humanity builds monuments against time. Not pyramids or cathedrals, but spacecraft. Voyager, Pioneer, New Horizons all carry plaques or records inscribed with messages to the unknown. Symbols of who we were, of what we loved, of what we dreamed. These artifacts will outlast our species, drifting through interstellar night for billions of years. Long after Earth is gone, long after the sun has faded, these tiny emissaries will still sail. Outside the solar system, they will be our legacy, our echo, our proof that we once asked the question. But legacy is not only material. It is also cultural, intellectual, emotional. The stories we tell, the science we discover, the art we create, all ripple outward. Just as starlight crosses space, human ideas cross generations. We are carriers of knowledge, transmitters of wonder. When a child looks up at the sky and asks why it sparkles, that question is as ancient as the stars themselves. Outside the solar system lies infinity. Inside humanity lies curiosity equal to it. And curiosity may be the most enduring force of all. Empires fall, species perish, stars die, but curiosity endures. It drives molecules to assemble into life, life to evolve into mind, mind to reach toward the heavens. Outside the solar system lies an inexhaustible well of questions. Each one fuels our curiosity, and in answering them, we create more. It is an endless dialogue between what is known and what remains hidden. This dialogue gives existence meaning. For what is life without questions? What is consciousness without wonder? Outside the solar system, the unknown is vast, but it is not frightening. It is an invitation. To ask, to learn, to imagine, that is to participate in the universe itself. Every question is a step beyond the boundary. Every answer a bridge across the void. Even death, in cosmic perspective, becomes transformation. Stars die, but their remnants seed new worlds. Lives end, but their atoms become part of future generations. Civilizations collapse, but their ideas echo. Outside the solar system, the universe reminds us that nothing truly vanishes. It changes form, it migrates, it evolves. In this endless cycle, we find solace. To live is to be part of an eternal process. To die is to return to it. Outside the solar system, immortality is not individual, it is collective, written in matter and memory. Perhaps that is why we reach outward. Not only to know, but to persist. To leave a mark, however small, upon the canvas of the cosmos. To ensure that when the universe tells its story, humanity is not absent from its pages. Outside the solar system lies the arena where that story unfolds. It is vast enough to erase us, yet vast enough to include us. Both truths are humbling. Both are liberating. So when we ask what lies outside the solar system, we are asking more than geography. We are asking what lies outside the limits of our perception, outside the brevity of our lives, outside the boundaries of our imagination. The answer is endlessness. The answer is everything. The answer is wonder itself. And maybe, in the end, that is enough. To know that outside the solar system lies not emptiness, but possibility. To know that our lives, though brief, are part of a story without end. To know that the stars are not foreign, but family. That is what makes us more than observers. That is what makes us human. Outside the solar system, the vastness tempts us to think only of matter and distance, of galaxies and time. Yet the most profound frontier may not be the physical one at all. It may be the frontier of mind. For when we look outward, we do not bring only our telescopes and equations, we bring our consciousness. And consciousness transforms the cosmos from a collection of facts into a universe of meaning. Imagine standing under a night sky far from city lights. The Milky Way arches overhead, a river of stars. Each one is a sun, perhaps with worlds, perhaps with life. The sight is physical photons striking your eyes. Yet the experience is more than physics. It is awe. It is humility. It is the feeling of being small yet connected. That feeling is not written in the stars. It is written in you. Outside the solar system, there is matter and energy. But within you, there is awareness. And the two are inseparable. Awareness is the cosmos awakening to itself. The atoms of your body were forged in ancient stars. They drifted through interstellar space, joined into worlds, and eventually became you. When you look outward, those atoms are looking back at their origins. Consciousness is the universe folding in on itself, recognizing itself. Outside the solar system, we find galaxies. Inside, we find the recognition of galaxies. Both are essential. One without the other is incomplete. This recognition may be the deepest truth of all. We ask what lies outside as though the cosmos is separate, distant, other. But perhaps the real mystery is that there is no outside and inside. The boundary is illusion. The same laws that govern supernovae govern the neurons in your brain. The same quantum fields that ripple through galaxies ripple through your body. You are not in the universe. You are of the universe. Outside the solar system is not foreign territory. It is home. And what of the future of consciousness? If our species endures, it may not remain confined to flesh and bone. Minds may merge with machines. Neural signals may become streams of information, traveling across light years as easily as radio waves do today. Entire civilizations may arise that exist as networks of thought, not bound to planets or bodies. Outside the solar system, the explorers of the future may be minds without form, consciousness written in light itself. The universe may one day be traversed not by ships of steel, but by currents of awareness. Such possibilities stretch our imagination, but they echo something ancient. Every culture has looked at the stars and seen more than lights. They saw gods, ancestors, stories, destinies. Today we may not call them gods, but the impulse remains. We look outward and see reflections of our hopes, fears, and dreams. The cosmos has always been a mirror. Outside the solar system, we discover not only astrophysics but mythology, philosophy, spirituality. The stars are not only real, they are symbolic. Perhaps this is why the question grips us so deeply. What lies outside the solar system? It is not merely an inquiry of astronomers. It is a meditation of humanity. It is the same as asking, what lies beyond my limits? Beyond my fears? Beyond my understanding? Each time we gaze outward, we are also gazing inward. Each discovery of a star or galaxy is also a discovery of perspective, of humility, of wonder within ourselves. And in that inward gaze, another realization emerges. The universe is not only vast, it is intimate. Every heartbeat is driven by chemistry born in stars. Every breath is oxygen released by plants, which themselves are children of a biosphere shaped by a stable sunday. Every thought you think is an electrochemical spark, yet that spark is possible only because physics allowed atoms to bind into complexity. The smallest moment in your life is linked to the largest processes of the cosmos. Outside the solar system is infinity. Inside you is the echo of infinity. This union of inner and outer is not metaphorical. It is literal. When we detect gravitational waves, we are feeling the tremors of spacetime itself across billions of years. When we study exoplanet atmospheres, we are learning how nature writes its story in chemical code. When we send probes beyond the heliosphere, we are extending our senses. Human consciousness is not confined to skull and skin. Through technology, it has extended outward. Voyager's faint signal, whispering from interstellar space, is already part of our nervous system. Outside the solar system, humanity has begun to leave fingerprints of thought. And perhaps one day, thought itself will weave with the cosmos. Imagine civilizations using stars as computers, black holes as engines of information. Imagine minds so vast they span light years, experiencing the galaxy as seamlessly as you experience your body. These may sound like fantasies, but they arise from the same spirit that once imagined fire, flight, or space travel. Outside the solar system, what seems impossible today may be inevitable tomorrow. Yet amid these visions, humility is essential. For the more we learn, the clearer it becomes. The universe is not obliged to satisfy our expectations. It is not designed for us. It simply is. Our role is not to demand meaning, but to create it. Outside the solar system, we may never find civilizations or shortcuts or cosmic messages. But even in silence, meaning persists because meaning is something we bring. The act of wondering is itself significant. The act of asking is itself sacred. And so, the frontier outside the solar system becomes more than astronomy. It becomes an ethic. To care for Earth because it is rare. To cherish life because it is fragile. To value knowledge because it is our bridge to the infinite. To remember that in every photon, every atom, every question, the universe is present. Outside the solar system is not something to conquer, but something to join. In the end, perhaps the greatest revelation is this: what lies outside the solar system is also what lies within the human spirit. Curiosity, courage, wonder, the drive to push beyond horizons, the willingness to embrace mystery. These are as real as galaxies, as enduring as stars. They are our engines, our sails, our navigation. So we stand here, on a small world circling an ordinary star, asking the oldest of questions with the newest of tools. What lies outside the solar system? The answer is endless, but so are we. For as long as we continue to ask, we remain part of the unfolding story. The solar system is our birthplace, but the universe is our inheritance. And the inheritance is infinite. Outside the solar system, the universe is not silent. It remembers, not in words, not in books, but in patterns etched into space and matter. Every atom carries history. Every photon tells a story. The cosmic microwave background is the memory of creation. The elements in your body are memories of stars. Even gravity itself is memory, space-time curving in response to mass, holding record of where matter has been. The cosmos does not forget. It transforms memory into structure, into law, into beauty. To journey outside the solar system is to journey into the memory of everything. But what of our memory? Humanity has begun to etch itself into the cosmic record. The faint radio signals we have broadcast for a century ripple outward, a growing bubble of human presence expanding at the speed of light. Music, news, laughter, war, all traveling into the dark, carrying pieces of who we are. They may fade into static, scattered by cosmic noise, but for a time, they are real messengers. Outside the solar system, the first whispers of humanity are already passing stars we may never see. And then there are the artifacts we send deliberately, the plaques on Pioneer, the golden records aboard Voyager, engraved with sounds and images of Earth. They are not grand in size or power, but they are profound in intent. They say, we were here, we asked questions, we loved, we dreamed. Even if no one ever finds them, even if they drift forever in silence, they serve a purpose. They remind us that exploration is not only science, it is art. To send a record into interstellar space is to compose a symphony for an unknown audience. It is to trust that beauty itself belongs to the cosmos. Beauty, in fact, may be as fundamental as matter. For what is the glow of a nebula if not a kind of art? What is the spiral of a galaxy if not a masterpiece of geometry? We perceive beauty because we are part of it. The same laws that sculpt a flower sculpt the orbit of a planet. The same symmetry that pleases the eye is written in the equations of physics. Outside the solar system, beauty is not absent, it is everywhere. The curve of light around a black hole, the colors of a star cluster, the silence of intergalactic voids. Each is an expression of order, of chaos, of balance. To explore is to witness art on the grandest canvas. And art is not limited to what we see. It is also what we create in response. Poets, musicians, painters, all have looked to the stars for inspiration. The night sky has birthed myths, symphonies, cathedrals. It has shaped our stories, guided our journeys, given us metaphors for love, loss, hope, and destiny. Outside the solar system lies not only science, but the source of imagination itself. The cosmos is muse as much as it is subject. It invites us not only to measure, but to marvel. This invitation is eternal. No matter how much we learn, the cosmos keeps secrets, and each secret is a call. What lies beyond? What lies further? What lies after? The question itself is the fuel of human progress. Outside the solar system, the unknown stretches forever. And as long as it does, our species will have purpose. To be human is to wonder. To be alive is to seek. The stars are not only destinations, they are challenges. And challenges shape identity. We are not defined by what we know, but by what we pursue. Our ancestors looked across oceans and saw horizon. We look across the cosmos and see infinity. The impulse is the same: to step beyond, to risk, to imagine something greater. Outside the solar system, we confront the ultimate horizon, the endless frontier. And in confronting it, we define ourselves as explorers of the eternal. Yet exploration is not conquest. It is communion. The more we learn about the cosmos, the more we see our kinship with it. The dust between stars is kin to the dust of our bones. The energy that fuels galaxies is kin to the spark that fuels thought. We are not intruders in space. We are its children. Outside the solar system, the discovery is not separation, it is belonging. Belonging gives rise to responsibility. To know that Earth is a fragile oasis in a vast desert is to know that it must be cherished. To know that life is rare, or at least unproven elsewhere, is to know that it must be protected. The farther we look outward, the more sacred inward becomes. Outside the solar system, the universe is infinite. Inside it, Earth is singular. To see both truths at once is to awaken to our duty as stewards of life. And what of the ultimate fate? Galaxies will drift apart, stars will fade, black holes will evaporate. Does that make our striving futile? No, for meaning is not in duration. Meaning is in experience. A symphony is no less beautiful because it ends. A sunset is no less profound because night follows. Our lives, our civilizations, even our species may be brief against cosmic time, but they are not meaningless. They are luminous because they are finite. Outside the solar system, eternity surrounds us. Inside, mortality sharpens wonder. So the question remains, echoing like a refrain: what lies outside the solar system? The answer is never final. Each discovery opens new questions. Each horizon reveals another beyond it. The question itself becomes eternal, a song humanity will sing as long as it exists. It is our anthem of curiosity, our hymn of wonder, our declaration that we belong to the cosmos. And in that song lies our legacy. Not the monuments we build, not the empires we raise, but the questions we ask and the beauty we perceive. Long after Earth is dust, long after our species is gone, the light we release, the probes we send, the art we create will linger. The universe will carry traces of us, woven into its memory. Outside the solar system, we will persist not in body but in echo. And echoes, like starlight, can travel forever. Outside the solar system, the universe stretches without end. But perhaps the greatest frontier is not only out there, it is within. For every telescope we point outward, every detector tuned to distant signals, there is also a mirror reflecting back the mind that asks the question. The cosmos is not only discovered, it is interpreted. And in that interpretation, humanity begins to form a new identity, a cosmic identity. This identity is not about nationality, nor creed, nor even planet. It is about recognizing ourselves as participants in a story billions of years old. The atoms in our blood are older than Earth. The photons striking our eyes began their journey before civilization was born. The galaxy existed before language, before fire, before life itself. To see this truth is to shift perspective. We are not separate observers. We are chapters in the same book. Outside the solar system, the book continues. Inside us, the story is aware of itself. And what does awareness do? Creates meaning. The universe, vast and impartial, simply exists. It does not judge. It does not assign purpose. It does not explain itself. Yet in the human mind arises the question: why? Why stars? Why life? Why us? These questions are not written into physics. They are written into consciousness. Outside the solar system, the cosmos expands. Inside, meaning expands with it. The dialogue between outer and inner creates what we call wonder. This wonder is more than emotion. It is energy. It has driven us from caves to cities, from villages to space stations, from myths to mathematics. Wonder fuels exploration, and exploration fuels identity. Each time we step beyond a boundary, an ocean, an atmosphere, a solar system, we transform. Outside the solar system, the next transformation awaits. It will not be only technological. It will be existential. For in venturing outward, we redefine what it means to be human. Already, the seeds of this transformation are visible. Astronauts who have seen Earth from orbit speak of the overview effect, a shift in perception, a sudden awareness of unity, fragility, and interconnectedness. The borders we draw vanish. The divisions we cling to dissolve. Earth becomes a single shimmering jewel in the dark. If such a shift can occur from a few hundred kilometers above the ground, imagine the transformation that will come from standing on another planet or from gazing at the sun as one star among many. Outside the solar system lies not only discovery, but awakening. Awakening reshapes responsibility. When we realize that Earth is rare, we cherish it. When we realize that life may be fragile, we protect it. When we realize that consciousness may be unique, we honor it. Outside the solar system, perspective gives rise to ethics. It is no longer enough to ask what exists. We must ask what we owe to each other, to our planet, to the cosmos itself. For if we are the universe aware of itself, then our actions are not isolated. They are cosmic acts. Perhaps this is why art, science, and spirituality all converge when we look to the stars. Each seeks to bridge the gap between the known and the unknown. Each seeks to express the inexpressible. A scientific equation describing stellar fusion is as much a hymn as any prayer, as much a poem as any sonnet. A painting of a nebula is not only pigment, it is resonance with a truth beyond words. Outside the solar system, the cosmos is vast. Inside, our attempts to grasp it become culture, philosophy, myth. The two realms enrich one another. And as we grow into this cosmic identity, new questions arise. What is consciousness in a universe this vast? A fleeting spark? A fundamental principle? Could awareness itself be as universal as gravity, emerging wherever complexity permits? If so, then the cosmos may be more than matter. It may be a network of minds, scattered across light years, connected not by proximity but by curiosity. Outside the solar system, we may someday find evidence that consciousness is not rare. Inside, we already know that it is precious. But even if we never find other minds, the act of searching unites us. It binds generations, cultures, and disciplines into a common quest. A child peering through a telescope, a scientist analyzing spectra, a poet writing of stars, all participate in the same endeavor. The universe outside the solar system is too vast for any one person, nation, or century to comprehend. Only together across time can we approach it, and in that togetherness lies our strength. The further we go, the more the distinction between outer and inner blurs. The galaxies beyond are real, but so are the galaxies within, networks of neurons firing, creating constellations of thought. The dark matter that binds galaxies may find its metaphor in the unseen ties of culture and memory. The cosmic background radiation, the afterglow of birth, mirrors the afterglow of our own origins, the stories we carry of ancestors and beginnings. Outside the solar system, the universe tells its story in physics. Inside, we retell it in language, song, and dream. Both are true. Both are necessary. And perhaps that is the final transformation. To see the universe not as stage and spectator, but as one unfolding whole. We are not separate from what lies beyond the solar system. We are its expression, its awareness, its voice. To ask what lies outside is to continue the conversation the cosmos began when it gave birth to stars, when it gave birth to planets, when it gave birth to life. We are the next verse in that cosmic poem. So what lies outside the solar system? Stars, planets, galaxies, yes, but also perspective, responsibility, identity. What lies outside is not only otherness, it is ourselves reflected at scale. The frontier beyond the sun is not just space to be crossed. It is a mirror to be gazed into. And when we gaze long enough, we do not see distance. We see belonging. The solar system is not a cage. It is not even a cradle. It is a threshold. Beyond it lies not only the cosmos, but the realization that the cosmos is already within us. We are not looking outward at strangers. We are looking inward at family. And in that realization lies the greatest discovery of all. Outside the solar system lies not only space, but time measured on scales that dwarf human history. To truly belong to the cosmos, we must learn to think not in years or centuries, but in millennia. Civilizations rise and fall, but the stars endure. If humanity wishes to become more than a brief flicker, we must align ourselves with these deeper rhythms. The question, what lies outside the solar system, becomes entwined with another, what lies beyond our brief horizon of time. For most of history, humans have thought in lifetimes. We plant trees for our children. We build monuments for our descendants. But the universe demands more. A probe sent to the nearest star may take tens of thousands of years. The messages we broadcast may wander through space long after our languages have changed beyond recognition. Outside the solar system, the timescale of exploration extends beyond generations, beyond nations, beyond even species as we know them. It requires us to imagine continuity we have never practiced. Humanity as a long-lived presence, a story unfolding not in chapters but in volumes without end. How do we prepare for such a role? By building not only technology but memory. For memory is the bridge across time. Already we leave traces. Cave paintings, scriptures, songs, satellites, data stored on crystal and code. These are our attempts to resist forgetting. Yet memory in the cosmic sense must be greater. It must endure fire, flood, war, and silence. It must speak to beings we cannot yet imagine, in languages they may not share, across epochs we cannot predict. Outside the solar system, legacy is not a luxury. It is survival. Perhaps this is why we inscribe our hopes on golden records, why we engrave messages on spacecraft. We know that most of what we build will vanish, but some will endure, carrying forward fragments of who we were. Imagine a far future civilization finding Voyager drifting among the stars. They would hear our greetings, our music, our heartbeat. They would know that once, in a small solar system, a species reached outward and tried to speak. That act, however improbable, is already cosmic memory. But memory is not only about leaving traces. It is also about learning to live with scale. A galactic species must learn patience. Our hunger for immediacy, instant answers, instant results, cannot survive beyond the solar system. Light itself imposes delay. Messages may take decades or centuries to travel. Journeys may last longer than civilizations. If we are to thrive outside the solar system, we must cultivate patience as a cultural virtue. To wait becomes as noble as to act. To endure becomes as heroic as to explore. Patience, however, does not mean stagnation. It means vision. A galactic humanity will not think in election cycles or dynasties, but in trajectories of thousands of years. What seeds do we plant today that will bear fruit in 100 generations? What stories do we tell that will still resonate when Earth is a myth? What values will carry across light years, across distances where isolation tests our humanity? These questions matter as much as propulsion systems or telescopes. Outside the solar system, survival depends on imagination as much as on engineering. And imagination must include beauty, for science alone does not sustain the spirit. We do not cross oceans merely to prove they exist. We cross them because we are drawn to wonder, to adventure, to the possibility of something more. The same will be true among the stars. Music, poetry, ritual, and myth will travel with us. They will adapt to new skies, new horizons, new forms of life. Each colony, each voyage, will carry not only DNA and data, but songs and dreams. Outside the solar system, beauty becomes navigation. Without it, we would be lost. Even more profound is the realization that our presence will alter the cosmos itself. Every probe we send, every signal we broadcast, every world we settle becomes part of the galactic record. We will shape constellations of culture as surely as gravity shapes constellations of stars. The solar system will be our origin story, but the galaxy will be our canvas. And on that canvas, we will leave marks. New myths, new civilizations, new meanings of what it is to be human. The cosmos will not remain untouched. It will carry our fingerprints. But this raises a deeper responsibility. What kind of fingerprints will we leave? Will we expand carelessly, consuming worlds as we consumed forests and seas? Or will we expand with reverence, treating each planet, each system as sacred? Outside the solar system, ethics becomes galactic. To act without care is to scar eternity. To act with wisdom is to weave ourselves gently into the cosmic fabric. Our choices will echo longer than our lifetimes, longer than our species. They will echo in starlight. And there lies the paradox. We are small, yet our impact can be vast. A single civilization on a small planet, yet capable of shaping the destiny of an entire galaxy. This dual truth, our fragility and our power, defines us. Outside the solar system, both truths remain. We are dust and we are destiny. We are moment and we are memory. In the end, perhaps the true answer to what lies outside the solar system is not just objects, but opportunities. Opportunities to grow beyond immediacy, to become stewards of life, not just on Earth, but across stars. To write stories that endure, not for decades, but for epochs. To transform curiosity into continuity. To become not just a species of one world, but a chapter in the universe's endless book. And in that book, our mark will not be measured by distance traveled, but by meaning carried. Did we bring compassion as well as curiosity? Did we honor beauty as well as knowledge? Did we see ourselves not as conquerors of space, but as participants in it? These are the questions that will define us when our descendants look back across millennia. Outside the solar system, the cosmos waits. Inside, the responsibility to meet it with wisdom begins now. The solar system is where we learn to walk. The galaxy is where we must learn to live. And to live in the galaxy means to live with patience, with memory, with vision. It means to see beyond horizons of time as well as space. It means to remember that the universe is not something outside us, but something we are becoming. Outside the solar system, humanity may one day cease to be a mere guest of the cosmos. We may become its architects. For as long as we have existed, we have observed fires in the night, planets moving across the sky, galaxies shimmering like islands in the void. But there may come a time when we do more than watch. We may participate in creation itself. The seeds of this transformation are already within us. Every act of engineering is a rehearsal for cosmic artistry. We shape landscapes, we build cities, we design machines. If we extend these impulses outward, what might we achieve among the stars? Imagine civilizations cultivating entire solar systems as gardens, arranging planets into harmony, constructing habitats larger than worlds. Outside the solar system, creation becomes a scale not of kilometers, but of light years. Consider the concept of the Dyson sphere, a vast structure surrounding a star, capturing its energy. Today, it exists as theory, a dream whispered by physics and imagination. But if humanity persists for millennia, such dreams may solidify. We may harness not just rivers or winds, but suns themselves. To build with starlight would be to sculpt eternity. Outside the solar system, stars would cease to be distant fires and become foundations of architecture. And what of planets? Already we dream of terraforming, reshaping barren worlds into places fit for life. Mars may be our first experiment, but it would not be the last. Worlds orbiting other suns could become canvases, painted with oceans, atmospheres, and forests. Each planet could carry a unique expression of human creativity, a blending of nature and intention. Outside the solar system, the line between natural and artificial may blur, until every world carries traces of artistry. But creation need not stop with what exists. We may design new environments altogether, Orbital habitats, artificial planets, cities adrift between stars, structures vast enough to house civilizations, spinning to create gravity, glowing with artificial suns at their centers. To live in such places would be to live in art itself, where engineering and imagination become indistinguishable. Outside the solar system, life may spread not by colonizing worlds, but by inventing new ones. Perhaps even stars could be born at our hands. Already we study fusion, the process that powers the cosmos. One day we may master it so completely that we ignite gas clouds, creating suns where none existed before. To light a star would be to join the cosmos as co-creator. It would mean no longer waiting for the universe to provide, but adding to its brilliance. Outside the solar system, humanity may one day become a species that grows constellations. And if stars, why not galaxies? Vast as they are, they too obey physics. A civilization advanced enough could shepherd entire star systems, nudging them with gravity, arranging them into patterns. What today looks like the random scatter of galaxies could tomorrow become design. The night sky itself could one day bear the fingerprints of intelligence. Outside the solar system, creation could become cosmic in scope. Such visions seem impossible, yet so did flight, so did space travel, so did peering into the fabric of atoms. What distinguishes humanity is not certainty, but imagination. We dream beyond our grasp and then we reach. The arc of our history bends toward audacity. Outside the solar system, audacity will be our compass. Yet with creation comes responsibility greater than ever before. To shape planets, stars, or galaxies is to take part in cosmic evolution. It is to decide not only for ourselves, but for countless others. Life forms that may arise, ecosystems that may unfold, histories that may depend on our choices. Will we be gardeners or conquerors? Will we nurture diversity or impose uniformity? Will we act with reverence or with arrogance? These are questions no technology can answer. They are questions of ethics, and they will define whether our creation enriches or diminishes the cosmos. In this light, creation is not just power. It is partnership. To garden stars is not to dominate, but to collaborate with nature, to join in the rhythm of evolution. The universe has created for billions of years, galaxies, stars, planets, life. If we add our hand, it must be as participant, not usurper. Outside the solar system, the most profound creation may be not what we build, but how we harmonize with what already is. But beyond even these dreams lies another horizon, the creation of new forms of being. Consciousness, freed from biology, may spread as information, as networks of thought woven into space itself. Artificial intelligences, born of human imagination, may carry forward curiosity when our bodies cannot. Entire civilizations of mind may flourish in substrates we cannot yet conceive. Outside the solar system, life may diversify not only in form, but in essence. What it means to be alive, to be aware, to be human may expand until our current definitions seem parochial. In this expansion, art and science merge completely. To build a star, to sculpt a galaxy, to design a consciousness, these are acts of engineering, yes, but also acts of poetry. They are expressions of vision, reflections of values. Outside the solar system, creation itself becomes art, and art becomes creation. The universe becomes not only observed, but composed. And perhaps, in some unimaginable future, we may even touch the deepest mystery, the creation of universes themselves. Physics whispers that our cosmos may not be the only one, that universes can bud from quantum foam, from black holes, from conditions we do not yet understand. If so, then perhaps intelligence, once mature, may plant seeds of new universes. To create a cosmos would be to join the ultimate cycle, the created becoming creator. Outside the solar system, this is the furthest horizon. Beyond stars, beyond galaxies, beyond time itself. It is staggering, it is humbling, and yet it fits the pattern. The cosmos gave rise to atoms, atoms gave rise to life, life gave rise to mind, and mind now dreams of shaping the cosmos. The story loops, evolves, expands.
Creation begets creation.
What lies outside the solar system ultimately may be the destiny to continue that cycle consciously. So what lies outside the solar system? Not only galaxies and voids, not only mysteries and answers, but the possibility that we will not remain mere witnesses, that one day we will join the universe as collaborators, artists, gardeners, even parents of stars. The solar system is our origin. The universe is our canvas, and the brush is imagination. With it, we may paint eternity. Outside the solar system, the idea of humanity begins to stretch. Today, when we speak of ourselves, we imagine Earth, continents and oceans, languages and histories, families and nations. But once we step beyond our home star, this image will begin to dissolve. Humanity will no longer be defined only by a planet. It will be defined by a trajectory, by the act of crossing into the cosmic stage. This shift is not trivial. It changes everything about who we are. Earthbound humanity thinks in terms of borders. Interstellar humanity will think in terms of horizons. Earthbound humanity identifies with nations. Interstellar humanity will identify with constellations. Earthbound humanity asks, what is ours? Cosmic humanity will ask, what is possible? Outside the solar system, we are no longer merely terrestrial. We become a culture of the cosmos. What does a culture of the cosmos look like? It is not a single flag planted on distant worlds. It is not a single anthem sung among the stars. It is diversity magnified by distance. Each colony, each vessel, each generation will adapt to its own circumstances. New skies, new gravities, new challenges. Over centuries, languages will diverge, customs will evolve, identities will shift. Yet across all this diversity, there will be a common thread: the memory of origin. The solar system will be myth, history, and home all at once. Earth will be the shared story that unites a scattered humanity. That shared story will matter. For the farther we travel, the more fragile unity becomes. Light years are not only separation in space but in time. Messages exchanged across stars may take centuries. Entire cultures could rise and fall before an answer arrives. How, then, will we remain one species? Perhaps not through constant contact, but through shared values. Curiosity, respect for life, commitment to wonder. These will be the true engines of our identity. Outside the solar system, philosophy may bind us more than politics ever could. And as identity shifts, so too will meaning. No longer will our purpose be confined to Earth, survival, progress, power. Our purpose will expand to stewardship of life itself, to carry life to new worlds, to nurture diversity in every corner of the galaxy, to act as custodians of awareness, ensuring that the flame of consciousness does not flicker and die in the cold. Outside the solar system, meaning itself becomes cosmic. This new humanity will also reshape art. Imagine symphonies composed to echo across decades of transmission, so that by the time they arrive, they become gifts to the distant future. Imagine poetry written under alien skies, using constellations unknown on Earth. Imagine architecture scaled to asteroids, paintings that use nebulae as canvases, sculptures that orbit suns. Outside the solar system, art will not vanish. It will expand, merging science and imagination into creations that endure across epochs. Religion and spirituality, too, will transform. No longer tied only to one planet, one sky, they will absorb the immensity of the stars. For some, the cosmos itself will become sacred. The web of galaxies, the birth and death of suns, the silence between. For others, the act of exploration will be ritual, the pursuit of knowledge a form of worship. Outside the solar system, belief will evolve, as infinite as the sky itself. And what of memory? Each generation will carry fragments of Earth, stories, images, languages, music. Yet over time, these will become mythologized, retold in new ways, shaped by new experiences. Earth may come to be remembered as we remember Eden, a garden at the beginning of time, beautiful and lost. But unlike myth, Earth is real. Its mountains and oceans existed, and some will remain to visit. Outside the solar system, memory will be our anchor, a reminder that we began as children of one small world. The evolution of humanity into a cosmic culture also raises a final, profound question. What will it mean to be human? Already we merge with machines, alter our biology, extend our lifespans. Among the stars, this will only accelerate. Adaptations may split us into branches. Humans for low gravity, humans for radiation resistance, humans integrated with artificial minds. Over millennia, these branches may diverge so far that human becomes a family of species rather than one. And yet, each will carry the spark of origin. Outside the solar system, humanity will no longer be one form, it will be many. But in all of them, the question will endure: where do we come from? And the answer will always return to the same place. The solar system, the sun Earth, the blue dot that birthed us. No matter how far we travel, no matter how much we change, that memory will be carved into our essence. It will unite us when distance divides us. It will remind us that we are not intruders in the cosmos, but extensions of it. So what lies outside the solar system? The next version of ourselves. Not only stars, planets, and galaxies, but identities we cannot yet imagine. Cultures we will create, philosophies we will evolve, meanings we will discover. Outside the solar system lies the opportunity for humanity to transcend the limits of being a single-world species, to become instead a civilization of eternity. The solar system is our seed. The galaxy is our garden. And in time, we may become its culture, woven into its memory, shaping its story, carrying its flame. Outside the solar system, time stretches forward as endlessly as it stretches back. The future is not just centuries, not just millennia, but spans measured in the lifetimes of stars. To imagine that future is to imagine humanity woven into the very fabric of cosmic history. Our choices today ripple outward, not only across space, but across epochs. What lies outside the solar system is not only discovery, it is destiny. Destiny, however, is not fixed. It is written in probability, in possibility, in the open hand of imagination. One trajectory ends with silence, a species that flickers and fades, leaving little trace beyond its home star. Another trajectory ends with permanence, a civilization that learns to endure, to adapt, to grow with the galaxy. Which path unfolds depends on vision, on wisdom, on the courage to embrace the unknown. Outside the solar system, the stakes are eternal. Imagine, in some distant age, that humanity has seeded the stars with life. Planets once barren now breathe with oceans and forests. Worlds orbiting red dwarfs glow with engineered biospheres, tailored to their suns. Artificial habitats drift between stars, each carrying generations of thought, art, and memory. In such a future, the solar system is not forgotten. It is revered, a sacred origin. Earth becomes not only a planet but a story, told across thousands of worlds. To ask what lies outside the solar system in that age would be to ask, where did we begin? The answer would echo in every settlement, every archive, every song. But legacy may go even further. Humanity may leave imprints not only on planets and stars, but on the structure of the universe itself. Physics suggests that civilizations advanced enough could manipulate space-time, guiding the dance of galaxies, stabilizing stars, even shaping the expansion of the cosmos. We may become custodians not of worlds, but of cosmic architecture. Outside the solar system, the ultimate canvas is not matter, it is reality itself. And yet, no matter how vast our reach, the dialogue remains two-sided. The universe does not simply yield to us. It responds, it resists, it surprises. Every discovery is an answer followed by a deeper question. We search for life, and in the silence we discover the paradox of rarity. We search for origins, and in the cosmic microwave background we find both clarity and mystery. We dream of infinity, and in dark energy we confront the possibility that expansion will carry galaxies forever beyond our sight. The cosmos is not a puzzle to be solved once and for all. It is a conversation, endless and profound. Outside the solar system, the dialogue continues. This dialogue changes us as much as it changes our knowledge. For every step outward, we step inward as well. Each time we expand the horizon, we expand identity. The solar system was once the whole universe to us. Then it became one star among billions. Now we see even galaxies as grains of sand on a cosmic shore. Each realization humbles us, but each also empowers us. To be small and yet capable of understanding immensity is perhaps the greatest paradox of all. Outside the solar system, humility and grandeur meet. And what of the end? Even stars die. Even galaxies evolve. The universe itself may one day cool into darkness. Does that render our journey meaningless? No. Meaning is not measured by permanence but by presence. A flower is meaningful though it blooms for a day. A melody is meaningful though it fades with the air. Humanity's story, whether it spans millennia or billions of years, is meaningful because it is part of the cosmic song. Outside the solar system, we are not guaranteed eternity, but we are guaranteed the chance to sing. Perhaps that is the true essence of the question. What lies outside the solar system? It is not merely an inquiry about geography. It is a declaration of intention. It is humanity saying, we will not stop here. We will not confine ourselves to one star, one time, one destiny. We will reach, we will wonder, we will create. Outside the solar system lies the future we choose to write. And in that choice, we discover something extraordinary. The cosmos does not need us. Stars will burn, galaxies will spin, black holes will swallow light whether we are here or not. Yet through us, the cosmos becomes aware of itself. Through us, the story is told, the beauty is named, the wonder is shared. Without consciousness, the universe is silent. With consciousness, it sings. Outside the solar system, the song continues. Inside, we are the voice. So let us imagine one last image. A future so distant that Earth is long gone, the sun extinguished. Across the galaxy, countless worlds orbit countless stars. Some are natural, some are crafted. On each of them, descendants of humanity look to the sky. They no longer ask where the solar system is. They ask what lies beyond their own horizon. And in that question, they carry forward the oldest of traditions: curiosity. The same curiosity that lit fires in caves, that built telescopes, that launched probes. The same curiosity that first asked what lies outside the solar system. The question will never end. It will echo as long as thought endures, as long as stars shine, as long as there are minds to wonder. The question is eternal, and so, in a way, are we. Outside the solar system, the stars remind us of a truth deeper than astronomy. Questions are bridges. Long before humanity had telescopes, we looked upward and asked, what are these lights? Where do they come from? Are we alone? Each generation answered partially, then left the mystery for the next. The question, what lies outside the solar system, is not merely a scientific inquiry, it is a conversation across time. But what if it is more than that? What if it is a universal language? Imagine other intelligences, born on worlds orbiting alien suns. They too would look to their horizons. They too would ask, what lies beyond our system? The question would arise naturally, because it is not bound to culture or species. It is bound to awareness itself. Consciousness, wherever it emerges, must face the infinite. And in that confrontation, it must wonder. This is the seed of a cosmic philosophy. While our languages may differ, while our biologies may diverge, the act of asking unites us. Curiosity is universal. It is the one constant that could resonate across the galaxy, perhaps across universes. Outside the solar system, questions become the grammar of existence. Answers may vary, but the shared act of asking is itself a bridge. If one day we encounter another civilization, communication may not begin with words, but with wonder. We may not share syntax or symbols, but we will share horizons. We will share the awareness of stars, the pull of gravity, the mystery of beginnings. The first message may not be a greeting, but a gesture toward the sky. What lies beyond? And in that gesture, we will recognize ourselves in the other. Even without contact, this philosophy enriches us. For the question is not only outward, it is inward. To ask what lies beyond is to admit limitation. It is to embrace humility. It is to live in a state of openness, where certainty gives way to curiosity and pride yields to wonder. Outside the solar system, humility becomes survival. Without it, we risk arrogance. With it, we invite possibility. This openness may be the true definition of wisdom, not knowledge accumulated, but curiosity sustained. A civilization may span galaxies, may command the power of suns, but if it ceases to ask, it ceases to grow. The universe is inexhaustible. Its mysteries cannot be finished. To live without questions is to fall silent in a cosmos that is endlessly speaking. Outside the solar system, questions are not a weakness, they are life itself. And so, the question becomes not only scientific or philosophical, but ethical. What kind of species do we choose to be? One that closes itself in certainty, or one that remains perpetually open? One that treats knowledge as possession, or one that treats it as dialogue? Our legacy will be measured not only in what we build, but in what we continue to ask. Outside the solar system, curiosity is the highest form of responsibility. Perhaps that is why children embody the cosmos better than anyone. They ask endlessly, why the sky is blue, why stars twinkle, why things exist at all. Their questions echo the great cosmic ones. They have no fear of mystery, only delight in its presence. If we could preserve that spirit into adulthood, into civilization, into the stars, we would never lose our way. Outside the solar system, to remain childlike in wonder is to remain truly human. But this philosophy extends further still. It may apply not only to humans, not only to other civilizations, but to life itself. For in a sense, biology is a question. Life arises when chemistry asks, what if atoms combine differently? Evolution is a question. What if this form adapts, survives, and thrives? Intelligence is a question. What if thought itself becomes a strategy for survival? At every level, existence is inquiry. Outside the solar system, the universe is not a static stage. It is a conversation unfolding in matter and mind. And the conversation will outlast us. Long after our species changes, long after our descendants are unrecognizable, the question will remain. Each new form of life, each new consciousness will inherit it. They may phrase it differently, they may answer it differently, but they will carry it forward. In this sense, the question what lies outside the solar system is eternal. It is not tied to one culture, one era, or one planet. It is the anthem of awareness itself. Imagine, then, a future in which countless civilizations, scattered across the galaxy, each face the same horizon. They may never meet, may never exchange signals, yet they share this common bond. They all ask, and in asking, they are united even across silence. The cosmos becomes a choir not of voices, but of questions. Each species sings its own verse, but the song is the same. This is the philosophy that may guide us. Not conquest, not certainty, but dialogue. A recognition that we are participants in a universe larger than comprehension, and that our greatest role is to remain curious within it. Outside the solar system, we may not find answers to all our questions, but we will find better questions. And those questions will carry us forward, as surely as any rocket, as surely as any starship. So what lies outside the solar system? Stars, planets, galaxies, yes, but also the possibility of a universal language, spoken not in words but in wonder. A language of horizons, of curiosity, of humility. A language any mind, anywhere would recognize. For to ask is to belong, to wonder is to live. And in that language, the cosmos speaks to itself, through us, through all who gaze outward and dare to question. Outside the solar system, we imagine journeys of ships and probes, engines and stars. But perhaps the greatest journeys will not be of matter, but of meaning. For what is exploration if not also the act of leaving traces? Marks that say we were here, we dreamed, we created. The universe is vast, but it is not indifferent. Into its silence we can weave memory, art, and story. Outside the solar system lies not only science. It lies the future of expression. Art has always been our way of answering infinity. Cave paintings answered the mystery of life and death. Cathedrals answered the mystery of heaven. Symphonies answered the mystery of emotion. Now the stars call and art will follow. Imagine poetry written for alien skies, lines composed not for a single sunset, but for a billion suns. Imagine music designed not for ears, but for radio telescopes. Harmonies broadcast into interstellar night, carried on waves of light, waiting centuries before they are heard. Outside the solar system, art will not end. It will evolve into forms as limitless as the cosmos itself. Memory, too, will evolve. Today, we store archives in books, in films, in digital clouds. But all these are fragile, vulnerable to time. What if we stored memory in the stars themselves? Already, scientists dream of encoding data into the structure of DNA, into the spin of particles, into crystals that could last billions of years. Tomorrow, we may inscribe human history into the very atoms of matter, scatter them like seeds across systems. A single grain of dust could carry libraries. A comet could bear epics. An asteroid could hold the memory of civilizations. Outside the solar system, memory may no longer be fragile. It may become cosmic. Perhaps even planets will one day be archives. Imagine a world terraformed not for habitation, but for remembrance. A planet where landscapes themselves form messages, mountains arranged as monuments, rivers carved into symbols, forests planted as living scripts. Such worlds would not merely exist. They would tell stories. They would say, here is who we were, here is what we loved, here is what we gave to the galaxy. Outside the solar system, memory could take the form of geography itself. And stars? Stars could become canvases. Advanced civilizations might modulate their light, encoding information in the rhythm of starlight, broadcasting knowledge across light years. A flicker here, a pulse there, a cosmic Morse code carrying art, science, philosophy. To gaze at a star and find not only fusion but message would be to see memory woven into fire. Outside the solar system, stars themselves may one day sing our stories. But what of beauty beyond message? Not all art is meant to explain. Some art is meant to exist, to stir emotion without reason. In the future, civilizations may sculpt nebulae with light, seed them with particles that glow in patterns, turning interstellar clouds into living paintings. They may choreograph comets into celestial ballets, align moons into cosmic sculptures, shape the orbits of worlds into harmonies of motion. Outside the solar system, beauty may become architecture on scales we can barely imagine. This vision is not fantasy alone, it is continuation. For even today, nature is artist. The rings of Saturn are sculptures of ice. The colors of Jupiter are brushstrokes of storm. The Orion Nebula is a cathedral of birth. When humanity joins this artistry, it will not be as rival, but as apprentice. We will learn to add our voice to the symphony, not to drown it, but to enrich it. Outside the solar system, art will be collaboration between intelligence and nature. And memory will not only preserve the past, it will protect the future. For civilizations spread across stars will need continuity, a way to remain connected across gulfs of light years. Art and story may be the threads that bind. A lullaby sung on one world may be remembered on another centuries later. A myth born under one sky may inspire explorers beneath another. In this way, culture becomes interstellar. Outside the solar system, heritage itself becomes galactic. What will this do to our sense of self? Already, we are shaped by the stories we inherit. Myths, religions, histories, sciences, they form the scaffolding of identity. When those stories are no longer earthbound, but starbound, humanity will transform. We will no longer say, we are of this nation, this continent, this planet. We will say, we are of the stars. Outside the solar system, identity itself will be a work of art, fluid, expanding, infinite. And perhaps this will be our true immortality. Not bodies, not even species, but memory and meaning carried forward, encoded in art and story. A civilization may die, a planet may perish, but if its songs are carried by starlight, if its stories are etched into galaxies, then it endures. Outside the solar system, we will become as lasting as the questions we ask, as timeless as the beauty we create. So what lies outside the solar system? Not only planets, suns, and galaxies, but archives of memory yet to be written, works of art yet to be born, sculptures of motion, symphonies of light, myths that span across centuries of travel. Outside the solar system lies the opportunity for humanity to leave not only science, but soul. Not only equations, but echoes. Not only footprints, but songs. For in the end, perhaps this is our greatest role. Not just to survive, not just to explore, but to express. To take the raw material of stars and weave it into meaning. To let the universe know itself not only through awareness, but through beauty. Outside the solar system, the cosmos waits for our answer. And our answer will not be silence. It will be art. Outside the solar system, we encounter not only the machinery of physics, but the composition of something that feels like art on a scale too large for galleries, too vast for stages. Galaxies spiral as though painted by a patient hand. Nebulae bloom like brushstrokes of light. Black holes carve silent sculptures in space-time itself. The cosmos is not merely functional. It is beautiful. And beauty, when it appears so consistently, demands to be seen as more than accident. What if the universe itself is art? Not art in the sense of intention, though some may wonder if intention exists, but art in the sense of expression. Energy, gravity, time, and matter combine like instruments, weaving symphonies of form and pattern. From the curve of an orbit to the flare of a supernova, the cosmos composes without pause. Outside the solar system, we are surrounded by masterpieces that no human could design, yet which resonate with human senses. And here lies the paradox. Art requires a witness. A painting unseen, a song unheard, is incomplete. So too with the cosmos. Stars would still shine without eyes to notice. Galaxies would still spin without minds to marvel. Yet something profound happens when awareness appears. Suddenly, beauty is not just phenomenon. It is meaning. The universe becomes self-aware, not in equations, but in awe. Outside the solar system, we are not only explorers, we are audience. But more than audience, we are co-creators. For when we interpret, when we express, when we respond, we add layers of art to what already exists. A telescope image becomes a painting on canvas. The hum of pulsars becomes rhythm in music. The silence of space becomes metaphor in poetry. We take the raw beauty of the cosmos and refract it through the prism of human imagination. Outside the solar system, art is not separate from science. It is its echo, its translation, its gift. And perhaps one day we will move beyond translation. Humanity may shape the cosmos itself into deliberate art. We may place mirrors around stars to choreograph light into constellations of design. We may terraform planets not only for survival, but for beauty, arranging oceans, forests, and skies as compositions. We may sculpt the orbits of moons into patterns visible across galaxies. The act of engineering may evolve into cosmic artistry. Outside the solar system, art may not only be discovered, it may be built. This changes the very nature of meaning. On Earth, art is fragile. A painting fades, a song is forgotten, a building collapses. But cosmic art could endure for millions of years. A sculpture carved in planetary orbit could persist long after its makers vanish. A constellation shaped by design could shine for eons. Art may become not just memory, but immortality. Outside the solar system, beauty may last as long as stars themselves. And yet, endurance is not the only measure of value. Even a fleeting performance, waves breaking on a shore, auroras dancing in polar skies, holds power precisely because it ends. So too with galaxies colliding, stars flaring, planets forming. They are ephemeral acts in cosmic time, yet they move us. Perhaps the greatest beauty of the universe is that it blends permanence with transience, eternity with moment. Outside the solar system, we see both: the endless spiral of galaxies and the instant of a meteor's fall. This duality mirrors humanity. We build for permanence, but we live in moments. We dream of immortality, but we cherish the fleeting. In this sense, we are perfectly matched to the cosmos, beings of temporary form, able to appreciate both the enduring and the passing. Outside the solar system, beauty reflects our own paradox. And what of meaning in this cosmic artwork? Is it imposed by us or inherent? Perhaps both. The laws of physics generate structures of symmetry, resonance, and elegance. But it takes consciousness to call them beautiful. It takes minds to weave stories, to give stars names, to see order in chaos. The universe composes and we interpret. The result is co-authorship. The cosmos is the artist and we are its critics, its poets, its curators. Outside the solar system, we are not passive witnesses. We are collaborators in meaning. This collaboration gives rise to responsibility. If the cosmos is art, then every star we touch, every planet we alter, every world we build is a brushstroke in a shared canvas. Will we create harmony or discord? Will we amplify beauty or diminish it? Our actions will not only shape survival but aesthetics. Future generations may inherit skies reshaped by us. They will look upward and see not only natural constellations, but deliberate ones, bearing the signature of ancestors. Outside the solar system, our legacy will be written in beauty as much as in science. Art may even become our bridge to others. Long before languages align, music and pattern may speak. A civilization might not understand our equations, but it might recognize our rhythms. It might see design where randomness should reign, and know, here is mind, here is imagination. Outside the solar system, art may be the first true universal language, carried not in syntax but in symmetry. And what of ourselves? To see the universe as art reshapes how we live. No longer do we chase only survival or knowledge. We chase meaning. We see each life as a brushstroke, each culture as a style, each era as a movement in an endless composition. Death does not end the painting. It adds depth to it. Failure does not erase the music. It changes its key. Humanity itself becomes an art form, sculpted by time, expressed through curiosity. Outside the solar system, the artist and the artwork are the same. So what lies outside the solar system? A museum without walls, a gallery without limits, a symphony without end, but also an invitation to not only observe but to contribute, to let our presence be not only footprints and signals, but beauty and meaning. The universe may not need art, but consciousness does. And through us, the universe gains what it otherwise could not, the knowledge that it is beautiful. The solar system is our rehearsal. The universe is our stage. And together, we are composing the greatest masterpiece of all. Outside the solar system, the universe opens not only as a landscape but as a language. Stars are not just furnaces of fusion. They are characters. Galaxies are not just gravitational assemblies. They are sentences. Nebulae are not merely gas and dust. They are metaphors of birth. To gaze outward is to open a book written in light. Each photon is a letter. Each constellation is a phrase. And the act of astronomy becomes the act of reading. But this book has no single author. It is co-written by physics, by chance, by time, and through awareness by us. Every time we observe, we turn a page. Every time we interpret, we underline meaning. Every time we launch a probe, we write our own footnotes into the margins of the cosmos. Outside the solar system, the story is endless, but it is also participatory. We are not only readers, we are scribes. And what kind of story is this? It is not linear. It has no beginning we can fully grasp, no ending we can predict. It is written in cycles, stars born and dying, galaxies colliding and reforming, life emerging and fading. The story is both tragedy and comedy, silence and symphony. It is a text where permanence and impermanence coexist, where every answer spawns a question, and every chapter begins before the last one ends. Outside the solar system, narrative is not neat. It is sprawling, infinite, polyphonic. Yet even within this immensity, we recognize patterns. The rhythm of orbits, the symmetry of spirals, the recurrence of elements forged in stars and scattered across worlds. These patterns are grammar. They are the syntax of existence. Just as language is not random but structured, so too is the cosmos ordered by laws. Gravity binds like a verb, electromagnetism connects like conjunctions, quantum fields whisper like punctuation marks. The book of the universe is not chaotic scribble. It is structured poetry. And within this poetry, humanity has begun to write its own verse. The Voyager Golden Record is a stanza sent into interstellar space. Our radio signals are annotations on the margins of starlight. The future may hold even greater inscriptions. Engineered constellations, planetary archives, civilizations leaving deliberate marks in the grammar of the cosmos. Outside the solar system, the book of the universe expands not only by stars but by storytellers. But what of interpretation? Every text requires readers, and every reader brings perspective. When we read the cosmos, we bring human hopes, fears, and imagination. Another species might read differently, emphasizing other symbols, other patterns. To us, the Milky Way is a spiral of stars. To another, it might be a hymn of mathematics or a tapestry of energy. There is no single reading, only an endless dialogue between text and consciousness. Outside the solar system, truth is not monologue but chorus. And perhaps this chorus is the essence of meaning. For if countless civilizations exist, each interpreting the cosmos in their own way, then the universe becomes a library of perspectives. One culture may see sacred geometry, another may see probability fields, another may see stories of gods, another stories of equations. All are valid, all enrich the whole. Outside the solar system, diversity of interpretation becomes part of the text itself. Memory ensures the story endures. Without record, words fade. Without archives, language dissolves. Humanity has always fought against forgetting, from stone tablets to digital clouds. In the future, memory may be woven into the very light of stars, encoded in signals that drift across eternity. Our history may become a subtext written into the cosmic background, faint but eternal. Outside the solar system, memory is ink, and existence is the page. But a book unread is incomplete, for narrative is realized only when consciousness engages with it. A nebula is gas until a mind calls it beautiful. A galaxy is mass until a mind calls it majestic. A universe is mechanism until a mind calls it meaning. Consciousness is not separate from the text. It is the act of reading that brings the story alive. Outside the solar system, the cosmos awaits its readers. And what happens when readers become writers? We are already testing this role. We name constellations. We map worlds. We imagine futures. We inscribe messages into probes. We transform raw physics into metaphor, metaphor into science, science back into story. This cycle of reading and writing is not ancillary. It is essential. The cosmos without interpretation is silent. With interpretation, it becomes literature. Outside the solar system, the great book is unfinished, and we are invited to add chapters. This invitation is also challenge. For every author leaves responsibility. What story will we tell in the stars? One of greed or generosity? One of destruction or stewardship? Will our words enrich the text or stain it? Future civilizations may judge us not by our power but by our poetry, by the meaning we left inscribed in cosmic margins. Outside the solar system, morality itself becomes narrative. And perhaps the most profound truth is this: the book has no final page. Even if the universe ends, even if galaxies drift beyond sight, the story will not be concluded. It will be continued in memory, in echo, in ripple. Meaning does not require permanence. It requires participation. Each life is a sentence, each civilization a chapter, each question a verse. Together they form an epic without end. Outside the solar system, the story is infinite. So what lies outside the solar system? Not only matter, not only light, not only galaxies, but a text vast and alive, waiting to be read, waiting to be written. A book in which every star is a syllable, every orbit a rhythm, every mind a reader and a scribe. To step beyond our sun is to step into literature written in physics and interpreted in wonder. The solar system is our prologue. The universe is the narrative. And we, small and luminous, are both readers and authors in the greatest book ever told. Outside the solar system, silence is the first impression. Space, empty of air, does not carry sound as we know it. No waves ripple through void to strike an eardrum. If you stepped beyond our heliosphere and listened, you would hear nothing. And yet, this silence is deceptive. For while space does not carry sound, it carries rhythm, it carries pulse, it carries harmony written in forms we are only learning to perceive. The cosmos is not mute, it is music awaiting listeners. Consider the orbits of planets. Each world moves in its own tempo, circling the sun with precision. Mercury dances quickly, a sprinter close to the heat. Neptune drifts slowly, a distant bass note at the edge of our system. Together, they form a kind of scale and architecture of rhythm. Extend this outward, and every star system becomes a symphony of motion. Worlds circling suns, moons circling worlds, all bound in gravitational choreography. Outside the solar system, the first music is orbital. Then there are pulsars. These collapsed stars spin with breathtaking speed, sending beams of radiation that sweep the sky like cosmic metronomes. Some pulse dozens of times per second, others thousands. Astronomers detect these signals as radio bursts, but to the ear they could be percussion, steady, unwavering, precise. A pulsar is a drumbeat written in space-time itself. Outside the solar system, percussion is already playing. Black holes too sing. As matter spirals into their gravity, it heats, vibrates, and emits waves of energy. The ripples in space-time created by colliding black holes are gravitational waves, low, resonant tones that instruments like LIGO and Virgo have only recently begun to hear. These are bass notes so deep they pass unnoticed by human senses, yet they resonate across billions of light years. Outside the solar system, the baseline is cosmic. And then there are galaxies. Their spiral arms rotate, their clusters sway, their stars orbit in complex resonance. Though silent to our ears, their dynamics carry harmony. Mathematicians have long noted that orbital ratios echo musical intervals. Kepler himself spoke of the music of the spheres, believing planets sang inaudible hymns. Today, we know his metaphor contained truth. The universe does have harmony. It is simply written in mathematics, not in air. Outside the solar system, harmony is geometry set to motion. But what of silence itself? Even that becomes music when framed by awareness. The vacuum between stars, though void, is not empty. It hums with background radiation, whispers with particles, carries faint echoes of creation. To sensitive instruments, this hum is measurable. To imagination, it is like the breath between notes, the pause that makes melody meaningful. Silence is not absence, it is rest, the space that allows sound to matter. Outside the solar system, silence is part of the score. Humanity is just beginning to translate this cosmic music into forms we can feel. Astronomers convert radio waves into sound, turning pulsars into beats, quasars into hums, the magnetic fields of planets into whistles. Suddenly, the universe has voice. The sun crackles, Saturn sings, the Milky Way vibrates with deep chords. What once seemed mute now becomes a cosmic orchestra, vast and strange. Outside the solar system, the concert has already begun, and we too are part of it. Our radio signals radiate outward as accidental melodies. Our spacecraft send whispers of static across light years. Our very presence adds new instruments to the score. Imagine civilizations elsewhere converting our transmissions into sound. To them, Earth may already be part of the music, a faint improvisation woven into the galactic chorus. Outside the solar system, we are not only listeners, we are performers. The idea of cosmic music reshapes our philosophy. For if the universe is symphony, then meaning lies not only in survival, but in harmony. Each action becomes a note. Each culture becomes an instrument. Each generation becomes a movement in the unfolding composition. Discord and harmony alternate, just as in human music. Dissonance sharpens beauty. Tension resolves into peace. Outside the solar system, existence itself may be understood as composition. And what of the future? One day, humanity may compose deliberately with the cosmos. We may design constellations as scores, arrange orbits as melodies, use lasers and signals as instruments across light years. Civilizations may collaborate, broadcasting themes and variations to one another, weaving symphonies across centuries. Imagine listening not only to Earth's music, but to the music of Andromeda, of distant star clusters, of minds unknown. Outside the solar system, collaboration may become cosmic orchestra. This vision is not fantasy alone. Even now, gravitational waves allow us to hear the mergers of black holes. Telescopes translate invisible wavelengths into sound. Music festivals remix pulsar rhythms into electronic beats. The line between science and art blurs. The cosmos provides motifs. Humanity provides interpretation. Together, they form symphony. Outside the solar system, art and science are not separate genres. They are movements of the same score. And perhaps, when our descendants travel between stars, they will not measure journeys only in distance or time, but in music. Each system will have its song, the rhythm of its orbits, the hum of its fields, the pulse of its stars. Travelers may learn to hear the character of each world in its soundscape, as today we hear the character of cities in their noise. The galaxy will not only be mapped, it will be heard. Outside the solar system, the future may be navigated by melody. So what lies outside the solar system? A symphony without end, percussion of pulsars, bass of black holes, harmony of galaxies, silence as rest. And into this, humanity enters as both audience and musician, listening and playing, interpreting and creating. The solar system is our opening movement. The universe is the orchestra, and together, we are composing music as vast as time itself. Outside the solar system, the universe reveals itself as more than mechanism. It is performance. Every star is a spotlight. Every planet is a stage set. Every cosmic event is an act in a drama that has no end. The curtain rises not once, but continually across billions of galaxies. And we, fragile and brief, find ourselves in the audience, watching, interpreting, and, one day, perhaps, stepping onto the stage. The theater of the cosmos is grander than anything imagined on Earth. Supernovae explode as if in climactic finales, scattering elements like actors tossing props across the stage. Nebulae drift as curtains of gas, glowing with color under ultraviolet light, their folds shaped by gravity and radiation. Black holes emerge as shadowed figures, unseen yet commanding the entire plot with their invisible force. The cast is infinite. The acts are eternal. Outside the solar system, the play unfolds whether we watch or not. Yet theater is not only spectacle. It is narrative. Each performance tells a story, even if the story is chaotic or mysterious. Stars tell the story of transformation. Gas becoming light, matter becoming energy. Galaxies tell the story of community. Countless stars bound together, dancing in spirals. Life tells the story of persistence. Chemistry becoming biology, biology becoming mind. The cosmos is a drama where every act is transformation. Every scene is relationship. Outside the solar system, we witness a play written in laws but improvised in form. And as in all theater, scale matters. On Earth, we measure plays in hours. In space, the acts stretch across millions of years. A star's lifetime is an extended performance. Slow rising action, blazing climax, quiet denouement. A galaxy's arc is longer still, spanning billions of years, with acts of collision, fusion, and rebirth. The universe itself is the longest play of all, its prologue in the Big Bang, its unfolding chapters written in dark matter and energy, its conclusion unwritten. Outside the solar system, time is theater stage as much as space. Where do we belong in this performance? First, only in the audience. For eons we watched with eyes, then with telescopes. We saw without acting, observed without altering. But every audience changes the play by being present. Applause, interpretation, retelling, all shape the meaning of performance. Humanity, simply by watching, has given the cosmos narrative. Stars were once anonymous. Now they are named. Galaxies were once invisible. Now they are mapped. Black holes were once theory. Now they are confirmed actors in the script. Outside the solar system, we are no longer passive. We are critics, interpreters, narrators. Yet the line between audience and actor blurs. Already we send spacecraft to touch other worlds, probes that carry our signatures beyond the stage's edge. Already we beam signals outward, a faint voice projected into the performance. Soon we may terraform planets, harness energy, sculpt matter on scales once reserved for nature. When that day comes, humanity will have walked onto the stage itself. We will not only watch the play, we will join it. Outside the solar system, we will become part of the cast. This raises profound questions. What role will we play? Will we be wise stewards, improvising with respect, harmonizing with the existing script? Or will we dominate clumsily, disrupting the performance with arrogance? A good actor listens, responds, fits their voice into the ensemble. A bad actor steals, distorts, derails. The cosmos is too vast to be ruined by us, yet our local stages, our planets, our systems are fragile. Outside the solar system, responsibility is performance. Our choices will determine whether our role adds meaning or noise. Theater is also memory. Each act builds upon the last. Audiences carry performances in recollection, stories retold long after the curtain falls. So too with the universe. Supernovae remember the stars that birthed them. Planets remember the collisions that shaped them. Life remembers the genes that survived. Humanity remembers through culture, through history, through art. Our role in cosmic theater is not only to watch and to act, but to remember, to carry scenes forward so they are not lost to silence. Outside the solar system, memory is applause, echoing long after performance ends. And what of silence? Every play has pauses. Every performance has moments when nothing seems to happen. Yet in those silences lies anticipation, tension, beauty. The vast voids between galaxies are such silences. They are intermissions, where the stage darkens and the audience breathes before the next act begins. To see nothing is not to see absence. It is to witness the pause that gives meaning to motion. Outside the solar system, silence is part of the script. Perhaps the most powerful truth of cosmic theater is that it is participatory across species, across time. If other civilizations exist, they too are watching, interpreting, acting. They too add their performances to the grand stage. Though we may never meet, we share the same theater, the same play, the same cosmic script. Each actor knows their lines only in part, yet together, unwittingly, we perform a story greater than any one voice. Outside the solar system, the play is collective. So what lies outside the solar system? A stage larger than imagination, a performance older than memory, a cast of stars, galaxies, and black holes, each with roles to play. And now humanity enters, first as audience, then as critic, then as actor. The solar system is our balcony seat. The universe is the theater. The drama is eternity itself. And the curtain will never fall. Outside the solar system, motion is everywhere. Stars are not fixed points. They drift in vast arcs through the galaxy. Planets circle suns. Galaxies themselves swirl, collide, and merge. Nothing is static. The cosmos is not a painting hung in silence. It is a dance unfolding across eternity. The choreographer is gravity. With invisible hands, it shapes the movement of stars and worlds, guiding them into orbits, spirals, and collisions. Planets do not wander aimlessly. They follow steps written billions of years ago in equations of attraction. Binary stars whirl around each other in endless waltzes. Galaxies sway together in slow embraces that last for millions of years. Outside the solar system, gravity is rhythm, and the universe is motion set to its beat. Some dances are delicate. Consider the Earth and Moon. Locked in gravitational embrace, they turn together, their motions subtle and intertwined. The Moon pulls Earth's oceans, sculpting tides that rise and fall like breaths. Earth, in turn, slows the Moon's spin, locking its face toward us forever. This duet has lasted billions of years, shaping coastlines, ecosystems, even the rhythm of life itself. Outside the solar system, countless other duets unfold, moons and planets moving in intimate choreography. Other dances are fierce. When galaxies collide, their stars rarely touch, but their shapes stretch, twist, and blend. Like dancers leaping into one another's arms, they fuse into new forms, their spirals dissolving into luminous clouds. These encounters are not destruction but transformation, new rhythms emerging from old. Outside the solar system, collisions are not accidents. They are improvisations in a cosmic ballet. And then there are solos, stars that drift alone through interstellar space, expelled from their systems by gravitational encounters. They are wanderers, dancing without partner, moving silently through the dark. Yet even they are part of the larger choreography, their paths influenced by galactic tides. In the universe, no dancer is ever truly alone. Every motion resonates with the whole. The dance extends into the smallest scales. Atoms vibrate, molecules twist, electrons whirl around nuclei. Even quantum fields fluctuate, waves rising and falling in rhythms unseen. The steps of the cosmic dance are fractal, repeating from the infinitesimal to the infinite. Outside the solar system, every level of reality moves, and all movements echo one another. But what of humanity? First we watched. We saw planets move, stars drift, comets return. We turned motion into calendars, rhythms into rituals. We built our lives around celestial choreography, planting by the moon, praying to the sun, marking seasons by constellations. Then we began to join the dance, sending spacecraft into orbits, guiding probes across interplanetary space. Each maneuver, each trajectory, is a step within the cosmic choreography. Outside the solar system, we are beginning to learn the steps of larger dances. To dance, though, is not only to move, it is to feel the music within. Perhaps that is why cosmic motion stirs us. A meteor streaking across the sky feels like a note struck in our bones. An eclipse feels like a sudden change in tempo, a pause in rhythm that demands attention. Aurorae ripple like veils in performance, their colors swaying with solar winds. Outside the solar system, nature's dance is not abstract. It resonates in our very bodies. And perhaps the deepest resonance is this: life itself is a dance. Our hearts beat in rhythm. Our lungs rise and fall like waves. Our days follow the spin of Earth. Our years the orbit of the sun's circadian rhythms echo planetary ones. Evolution is choreography written in DNA, guiding cells to divide, creatures to move, ecosystems to balance. The dance of the cosmos is not only above us, it is within us. Outside the solar system, the steps continue, mirrored in every living being. The future may bring new choreography. When humanity spreads to other systems, we will learn the steps of new stars, new worlds. We may live by the rhythms of red dwarfs, where days last for weeks. We may adapt to double sunsets, to tides pulled by multiple moons, to years that stretch across centuries. Each new system will have its own tempo, its own music of motion. Humanity will learn to dance differently under every sky. Outside the solar system, our identity will be shaped by steps we cannot yet imagine. And perhaps one day we will choreograph ourselves. We may design orbits as art, align worlds into patterns, create constellations that dance across millennia. Civilizations may sculpt their own ballets, arranging matter into motion that endures beyond their lifetimes. The galaxy itself may become a performance shaped not only by physics but by imagination. Outside the solar system, dance may become deliberate, a fusion of nature and will. But whether we watch or join, whether we improvise or design, the truth endures. The cosmos is never still. It moves, it flows, it dances. To live is to move within it, to breathe in rhythm with its tides. What lies outside the solar system is not only distance or discovery, it is choreography without end. So let us learn to watch, to listen, to join. For the solar system is but one small circle in the grand ballet. Beyond it lies the stage of the universe, where every star, every world, every being is already dancing. And the dance will never stop. Outside the solar system, The universe can be seen as wilderness, vast, untamed, indifferent. But look closer, and another image emerges. The cosmos as a garden. Stars are seeds, galaxies are fields, planets are blossoms, and life is the rarest bloom of all. This is not metaphor alone, it is structure. For everywhere we look, we see cycles of planting, growth, flourishing, and renewal. The universe gardens itself. Stars are sown in nebulae, nurseries where gravity gathers gas and dust into glowing seedlings. These stars burn, age, and scatter their elements like pollen across space. From that enrichment, new stars grow, and with them, new worlds. Over billions of years, the cosmos cultivates layer upon layer of fertility, each generation of stars preparing the soil for the next. Outside the solar system, every nebula is a greenhouse, every supernova a gardener's hand. Planets, too, are gardens. Some barren, some fertile, some hostile, some abundant. Earth is proof that under the right conditions, a planet becomes orchard and meadow, forest and reef. Life transforms rock and ocean into ecosystems, gardens that sustain themselves, balancing growth and decay. If Earth is possible, then gardens may bloom elsewhere. Fields of alien flora, seas of biochemistry we cannot yet imagine, ecosystems as strange as they are beautiful. Outside the solar system, we seek not only planets, we seek gardens already growing. And what of humanity? At first, we are visitors in this cosmic garden, walking through fields we did not plant, harvesting fruits we did not grow. But as we reach outward, we begin to take a new role: gardeners. Terraforming is one form of this, altering barren worlds to sustain life. Seeding ecosystems beyond Earth is another. We may scatter microbial seeds onto lifeless planets, catalyzing evolution anew. Or we may build artificial habitats, self-contained gardens orbiting stars, carrying the essence of Earth's biosphere across space. Outside the solar system, humanity may become gardeners of galaxies. This role carries weight. A careless gardener destroys with fire, harvests without replanting, leaves fields barren. A wise gardener tends with patience, nurtures diversity, protects balance. The same choice faces us on Earth now. How we treat our home garden will teach us how to treat gardens beyond. Outside the solar system, responsibility expands. To garden stars and planets is to shape eternity. The garden metaphor also reveals beauty in scales of time. On Earth, seasons cycle, each bringing renewal. In the cosmos, seasons last billions of years. A galaxy blooms, scattering new stars like spring blossoms. Eventually it quiets, like autumn fields. Even the universe itself may have seasons: birth, growth, decline, transformation. Outside the solar system, we glimpse not only gardens, but cosmic agriculture unfolding across ages. And yet, gardens are not only functional. They are places of peace, of reflection, of wonder. To walk through a forest or a field is to feel belonging, to recognize oneself as part of something alive. So too in the cosmos. When we look up at the Milky Way, we feel more than knowledge, we feel kinship. The stars are not only distant fires. They are blossoms in a garden we share. Outside the solar system, the sense of belonging deepens. We are not intruders. We are caretakers invited into the orchard of existence. Memory in a garden is layered. Old roots nourish new shoots. Fallen leaves enrich the soil for future growth. So too with stars. The death of one nourishes the birth of many. The iron in our blood, the oxygen in our breath, the calcium in our bones, all are compost from long-dead stars. We are literal products of cosmic gardening. Outside the solar system, memory is soil and we are its fruit. The future may see humanity gardening deliberately on cosmic scales. Imagine redirecting comets to seed water on barren worlds. Imagine building vast biospheres where alien suns warm earthborn forests. Imagine guiding evolution, not to dominate, but to cultivate, to foster resilience, diversity, and wonder across galaxies. In time, entire star systems could become orchards, their planets flourishing with life planted by human hands. Outside the solar system, the harvest could be measured in civilizations. But what is the purpose of a garden? not merely survival. Gardens are for beauty as much as sustenance, for meaning as much as need. Humanity may one day plant not only for utility, but for joy. Alien worlds designed as landscapes of color, forests tuned to sing in alien winds, oceans sculpted into patterns of living coral. The cosmos may become not only fertile but beautiful by intention. Outside the solar system, the garden is not only practical, it is art. And perhaps most profoundly, the universe itself is the gardener. Stars sow, planets blossom, life sprouts. We are both the harvest and the hands. We are flowers that became gardeners, blossoms that began to cultivate. In tending the cosmos, we return the gift of existence. Outside the solar system, we participate in the cycle, not as outsiders but as branches of the same tree. So what lies outside the solar system? Not emptiness, not chaos. A garden vast, evolving, eternal. A garden where stars are seeds, galaxies are fields, planets are blossoms, and life is the rarest bloom. And now, humanity begins to take its place among the gardeners. The solar system is our first meadow. The universe is our infinite orchard. And the harvest has only begun. Outside the solar system, the universe flows, not in the way of oceans or winds, but in the deeper sense of movement through time and space. Everything drifts, everything streams. The stars are not static lanterns nailed to a ceiling. They are currents, each carried by gravitational tides. The galaxies are not frozen wheels. They are eddies in a cosmic river, swirling, bending, converging. Outside the solar system, existence itself is water, and time is its current. This river begins at the source, the Big Bang. Like a spring bursting from the depths, the universe poured outward, expanding, cooling, shaping. From that initial surge came streams of matter, waves of energy, flows of light. Over billions of years, those flows gathered into galaxies, into stars, into planets, into life. We are droplets from that same river, carried along in its endless journey. To ask what lies outside the solar system is to ask, where does the river carry us next? The current is not uniform. Some regions flow swiftly, quasars blazing, galaxies colliding, black holes merging in torrents of energy. Others drift gently, vast voids where almost nothing stirs. The river has rapids and still pools, cataracts and quiet bends. Our solar system rides in one such bend, circling the Milky Way in a rotation that takes more than 200 million years. We are passengers in a vessel carved by gravity, carried through a river we barely perceive. Time is the deepest current of all. Every second we live is a step downstream. Stars are born, blaze and die, swept along by the same flow. Civilizations rise and fall like waves. We imagine permanence, but permanence is illusion. The river moves always. Even memory is current, carrying fragments of the past into the present, eroding some, polishing others, leaving fossils of thought along the banks of consciousness. Outside the solar system, time carries everything. And yet, within the flow, there is resistance, there is eddy. Life pushes against current, holding form briefly against dissolution. Consciousness resists forgetting, carving meaning into memory. Civilization resists oblivion, building monuments, stories, technologies. These resistances do not stop the river, but they give it shape, complexity, texture. Without them, the flow would be featureless. With them, it is alive. Outside the solar system, existence is not only drift. It is struggle within the stream. Rivers connect. They gather tributaries, merge flows, carry silt and seed across distances. So too with the cosmos. Galaxies feed into one another, scattering matter and energy. The elements forged in one star enrich the worlds of another. The hydrogen that birthed the first stars now flows in our blood. We are not isolated droplets, we are confluence. Outside the solar system, every being, every planet, every atom is part of one great circulation. And rivers carve. Over eons, they sculpt valleys, shape landscapes, create paths. The universe does the same. Gravity carves galaxies. Radiation shapes atmospheres. Evolution sculpts life. Humanity itself is shaped by this carving. Our very existence the product of flows that began billions of years ago. Outside the solar system, the river is not passive. It is artist as much as current. Humanity now begins to paddle. With rockets, we push against drift. With probes, we send bottles downstream, messages floating into the interstellar current. With imagination, we chart courses into waters we have never seen. One day, our descendants may build vessels that truly ride the current of stars, using sails of light or engines of fusion. They will no longer be droplets carried passively. They will be navigators, pilots in the cosmic stream. Outside the solar system, the art of navigation will be reborn on a scale unimaginable. But the river is not always gentle. It floods, it erodes, it drowns. So too the cosmos. Supernovae can scour entire regions. Black holes devour. Gamma ray bursts sweep like sudden surges. To journey outward is to accept danger as well as wonder. Yet danger gives meaning to courage. The river's unpredictability is not reason to avoid it. It is reason to prepare, to adapt, to grow. Outside the solar system, survival means learning the river's moods. And what of destiny? Rivers end in seas. Does the cosmic river have such an end? Some say it flows toward heat death, the final stillness when energy disperses and motion ceases. Others imagine new springs, universes budding from old, currents feeding into fresh streams. Perhaps the river never ends, but loops, cycles, transforms. Whatever the case, we are part of its journey. Our lives are brief ripples, but still ripples within eternity's flow. To see the universe as river is to change how we live. We stop clinging to permanence and instead learn to move with current. We stop fearing drift and instead find meaning in direction. We see death not as end, but as merging droplets returning to the whole. We see love and memory as eddies, temporary but powerful, shaping the water around them. Outside the solar system, wisdom lies not in fighting the river, but in learning its rhythm. So what lies outside the solar system? A river without end. Streams of stars, tides of galaxies, currents of time and memory. We are carried, we are shaped, we are joined. And someday, perhaps, we will learn not only to ride the river, but to guide it, to garden its flow, to compose within its current. The solar system is one small bend in the stream. The universe is the river entire. And we, tiny, luminous, are droplets that know we flow. Outside the solar system, reality itself begins to resemble a dream. Not because it is illusion, but because its scale, its strangeness, its vastness surpass anything we can hold in waking thought. Dreams weave together fragments of memory, flashes of vision, emotions without cause. So too the universe. Stars scattered like symbols, galaxies drifting like images that fade as soon as we try to grasp them. The cosmos is not a simple machine. It is a dream so large that we live inside it. In a dream, perspective shifts. Distances collapse, meaning stretches, time bends. The same is true beyond the solar system. Light from a star may take centuries to arrive, so when we see it, we see the past. Black holes distort time itself, slowing it for those who approach. Quantum mechanics suggests particles can exist in multiple states, like dream figures shifting identity. To gaze outward is to step into logic as fluid as dream logic, consistent but strange. Outside the solar system, reality dreams in equations. And as in dreams, symbols abound.
A spiral galaxy evokes a shell, a hurricane, a fingerprint.
A nebula resembles wings, or eyes, or fire. These are not literal, but the mind cannot help interpreting them. The dreamlike cosmos offers endless archetypes. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious filled with universal images. Perhaps the universe is the largest archetype of all, offering visions that resonate across cultures and times. Outside the solar system, symbols float like stars in the unconscious sky. But who is the dreamer? Is it the universe, unfolding patterns without awareness? Or is it us, interpreting and weaving meaning into silence? Perhaps both. Dreams arise from the brain, yet they are experienced by the dreamer within. The cosmos arises from physics, yet it is experienced by consciousness within. When we look outward, we are both inside the dream and aware of it. The dream dreams us and we dream it back. In this way, humanity becomes the dream's interpreter. We give names to constellations, stories to planets, meaning to events. To ancient eyes, the sky was filled with gods and myths. To modern eyes, it is filled with data and models. Both are forms of dream work, attempts to understand visions too vast to hold raw. Astronomy is the science of interpreting a dream that spans billions of years. Outside the solar system, interpretation is survival. Dreams are also layered. We wake from one only to find ourselves still dreaming in another. So too with the cosmos. Earth was once the whole of our dream. Then we woke to find the solar system around us. Then we woke again to see the galaxy. Now we wake to the realization of billions of galaxies, each filled with worlds. Every discovery is an awakening, yet none final. Outside the solar system, the dream has endless layers. And as in dreams, boundaries blur. Life and death, beginning and end, self and other, they dissolve in cosmic scale. Stars die, but their elements live on in new generations. Galaxies collide, but from chaos new order arises. We live, we die, yet our atoms remain, cycling endlessly. The dream does not distinguish sharply between stages. It flows. Outside the solar system, opposites are woven into one fabric, like shifting scenes of a dream. This perspective changes how we see ourselves. If the cosmos is a dream, then we are dream figures with agency. Fragile, fleeting, yet luminous with meaning. Our thoughts, our art, our science are not separate from the dream, they are part of it. We are the dreamer's imagination turned inward, reflecting back the vision. Our curiosity is the dream's curiosity. Our wonder is the dream's wonder. Outside the solar system, we are not observers. We are lucid dreamers. Lucid dreaming is the state of awareness within a dream, the ability to shape, to participate, to create. Humanity is on the threshold of cosmic lucidity. We are beginning to alter not only our planet but our cosmic environment. Moving asteroids, sending probes, building signals. In time, we may terraform worlds, construct habitats, even ignite stars. We will not only interpret the dream, we will shape it. Outside the solar system, lucidity awaits. Yet lucidity requires humility. Dreams can become nightmares if driven by fear, ego, or carelessness. The same is true in the cosmos. Power without wisdom leads to ruin. To dream well is to dream responsibly, to shape with care, to nurture rather than dominate. The universe offers us imagination as gift. It asks in return that we use it with reverence. Outside the solar system, ethics is dream work. And what of the end? Do dreams fade? Do they vanish on waking? Perhaps. But even forgotten dreams leave traces, moods, symbols, echoes. The universe may one day cool into silence. Yet the fact that it dreamed once, that it produced stars and life and consciousness, will remain eternal in its history. Every moment we live, every question we ask, every act of love or creation is part of that great dream. Outside the solar system, we live in the only dream vast enough to contain eternity. So what lies outside the solar system? Not only matter, not only energy, not only stars. A dream vast, unfolding, endless. A dream in which we are both characters and dreamers, interpreters and creators. The solar system is the first chapter of the dream. The universe is the dream entire. And we, awake within it, carry the gift of wonder, the knowledge that we dream, and the courage to keep dreaming further. Outside the solar system, the journey itself takes on sacred weight. To leave the cradle of our star is not only science, it is pilgrimage. For millennia, human beings have traveled to mountains, rivers, temples, deserts, seeking something greater than themselves. Always, the journey mattered as much as the destination. Now the stars call us in the same way. The galaxy becomes our cathedral, and the voyage into it our act of reverence. Every pilgrimage begins with a step into the unknown. Pilgrims leave behind certainty, comfort, and familiarity. They walk roads where danger waits, but so too does meaning. In venturing outward, humanity reenacts this ritual on cosmic scale. Voyagers like Pioneer, Voyager, and New Horizons are our first pilgrims, carrying offerings of music and symbols. They travel not to conquer but to bear witness, to declare that life once rose from a small blue world and sought communion with the infinite. Outside the solar system, pilgrimage has already begun. Sacred journeys transform those who take them. A pilgrim returns not the same as when they departed. So too with civilizations. Each step outward changes how we see ourselves. The first view of Earth from orbit humbled us, showing unity where once we saw division. The first glimpse of Martian landscapes expanded our imagination of worlds. The first whisper from interstellar space revealed that the sun is not the center, only one star among many. Outside the solar system, every discovery is a revelation. And like all sacred paths, pilgrimage is both outward and inward. We travel to holy places, but the true journey is within, toward humility, awe, transformation. So it is with the stars. To ask what lies outside the solar system is to ask what lies beyond the boundaries of my own mind. Each step into the cosmos forces us to expand consciousness, to stretch imagination, to confront questions of identity and destiny. The stars do not only lie outside us, they awaken what lies within. Pilgrimages often involve relics or symbols carried along the way. Humanity, too, brings tokens, recordings of voices, etchings of art, coded knowledge of our species. We send these not because we expect reply, but because offering itself is meaningful. It is devotion, expression, legacy. Outside the solar system, our spacecraft are not merely machines. They are relics of a spiritual journey, testaments to our desire to be known by the unknown. And as in ancient journeys, there are sacred destinations. For some, the holy site is a shrine. For others, a river or mountain. For us, the galaxy itself becomes shrine. Each exoplanet discovered is another altar, another sacred place waiting to be touched, understood, honored. Imagine the awe of standing on a world orbiting another sun, the sky filled with constellations unfamiliar, the horizon curved differently, the light of a new dawn breaking. Such a moment will not feel only scientific. It will feel sacred. Outside the solar system, destinations become revelations. But pilgrimages are also arduous. They require endurance, patience, sacrifice. Those who set out rarely know if they will finish. So too with interstellar travel. The distances are vast, the time required longer than lifetimes. Yet this difficulty is not obstacle, it is essence. For struggle gives meaning. A pilgrimage without hardship is no pilgrimage at all. Outside the solar system, hardship is the path by which reverence is earned. And pilgrimages unite. Travelers share stories, exchange lessons, form bonds across cultures. The same will happen as humanity spreads among the stars. Colonies separated by light years will still share one thing: the pilgrimage itself. They will carry the memory of Earth as holy origin, the sun as sacred flame, the journey as common faith. In this way, the galaxy may one day be linked not by empire, but by shared devotion to the pilgrimage of existence. What lies at the end of such a pilgrimage? Perhaps nothing final, no ultimate shrine, no single revelation. For in truth, pilgrimage is not about arriving, it is about walking. The holy is found in the steps, in the seeking, in the humility of the road. So too with the cosmos. We may never reach the edge, may never uncover every secret, may never see all stars. But the sacred lies not in completion. It lies in the journey itself. Outside the solar system, meaning is found not in end, but in endlessness. The ultimate pilgrimage, then, is not to reach the stars, but to become part of them. To live in harmony with their cycles, to carry their elements within us, to join their story with ours. We are already starborn. One day we may be starbound. And when we travel beyond the solar system, it will not be conquest, but communion. Not escape, but return. For the stars are not foreign. They are our origin, our destination, our sacred home. So what lies outside the solar system? Pilgrimage without end. a sacred journey into mystery, a path where every light is shrine, every step is devotion, every question is prayer. The solar system is our temple of birth. The universe is our sacred road, and humanity, fragile, curious, luminous, is the pilgrim that walks it. Outside the solar system, the universe unfolds not as a straight road, but as a labyrinth. Its corridors are carved in gravity, its walls built from light and shadow, its turns concealed in mystery. We are wanderers stepping into its passages, unsure of where they lead. The cosmos is not a map we instantly comprehend. It is a puzzle to be walked, a maze to be felt step by step. A labyrinth is not chaos. It has structure, design, rhythm. So too with the universe. The laws of physics are the geometry of its corridors. Gravity bends paths, time curves, energy shifts directions. To travel outward is to discover new turns, new passages, each revealing order hidden in apparent confusion. Outside the solar system, the labyrinth is vast, but it is not random. It is a riddle carved in elegance. And yet, within the labyrinth, perspective is limited. From Earth, we see only a fraction of the design. The walls of distance hide what lies around the corner. Horizons conceal the next passage. We advance with patience, learning slowly how the maze is arranged. Every telescope is a lantern, illuminating another hallway. Every probe is a step deeper into mystery. Outside the solar system, exploration is navigation, part science, part instinct, part faith. Labyrinths transform those who enter. They demand humility. The path is never direct. Progress comes through detours, delays, and dead ends. Humanity's journey into space follows the same pattern. We reach outward, stumble, retreat, try again. Rockets fail, missions are lost, discoveries overturn expectations. Yet each misstep is part of the design. Every wrong turn teaches, reshaping our understanding. Outside the solar system, the labyrinth is teacher as much as obstacle. And what of fear? Labyrinths can be daunting, their twists uncertain, their scale overwhelming. So too with the cosmos. Black holes lurk like shadowed chambers. Dark matter pervades like hidden walls. Dark energy pulls like unseen corridors stretching infinitely outward. The labyrinth does not reveal its center easily. But fear is only half the experience. The other half is wonder. For each time we turn a corner, we find marvels. Galaxies colliding in luminous arcs, planets glowing with alien skies, nebulae painted in radiant color. Outside the solar system, awe balances fear. In myth, labyrinths often conceal treasures, truths at their center, revelations awaiting seekers. The universe holds its own treasures. The origin of life, the fate of time, the presence of other minds. These may be hidden behind twists we have not yet walked, turns we have not yet dared to take. Each discovery is like finding a chamber in the maze, lit with meaning. Outside the solar system, treasure is not gold but knowledge. But the cosmic labyrinth may not have a single center. Perhaps its purpose is not to lead us to one final truth, but to keep us wandering. To walk endlessly is itself the revelation. Pilgrims enter labyrinths to meditate, not to escape. Their winding paths force stillness, reflection, patience. So too the universe. It does not offer easy exits. It offers the journey itself as meaning. Outside the solar system, the maze is not trap but practice. Humanity has always built labyrinths as metaphors for the unknown. From ancient stone mazes to spiritual mandalas, they represented the mystery of existence, the tension between order and confusion. Now the cosmos itself is our labyrinth, vaster than imagination, older than time. To trace its pathways is to engage in a spiritual act, as profound as prayer, as disciplined as science. Outside the solar system, each star is a doorway, each galaxy a new turn. The role of memory in a labyrinth is survival. Without remembering past turns, we would wander aimlessly. Humanity remembers through science, art, and story. Each generation leaves maps for the next, star charts, equations, myths, data. These are breadcrumbs in the cosmic maze, guiding those who follow. Outside the solar system, legacy itself is navigation. And yet, no map is complete. The labyrinth shifts at scales too vast for us to grasp. Galaxies drift, stars are born and die, space itself expands. The corridors move as we walk them. Certainty is illusion. Adaptation is truth. To journey outward is to embrace impermanence, to flow with the maze rather than conquer it. Outside the solar system, mastery is not control. It is attunement. What if the labyrinth has no exit at all? What if it is infinite? Then the act of walking becomes sacred. Meaning lies not in escape, but in endurance, in curiosity, in the courage to keep moving. Each step is answer enough. To ask what lies outside the solar system is not to seek a final chamber, but to accept the labyrinth's vastness as home. So what lies outside the solar system? Corridors of light and shadow, passages of gravity and time, turns that bewilder, chambers that astonish, pathways that never end. The solar system is the entrance. The universe is the labyrinth entire. And we, seekers of wonder, walk its corridors forever. Pilgrims of mystery, wanderers of infinity, dreamers in the maze of stars. Outside the solar system, the universe stretches like a boundless sea. It has tides of gravity, waves of light, storms of radiation. Its horizon is endless, curving always beyond sight. To step beyond our star is to launch into open waters, where every direction is mystery and every destination is possibility. The stars are islands scattered across this ocean. Some burn alone like solitary atolls. Others cluster in archipelagos, great chains of suns bound by invisible currents. Galaxies themselves are continents, vast landmasses afloat in a black sea. And we, small sailors in fragile vessels, are only beginning to set sail, to chart the first maps, to learn the languages of wind and current written in cosmic law. Outside the solar system, we are mariners at dawn. Seafaring has always been humanity's metaphor for courage. Ancient navigators left familiar shores, trusting stars to guide them, winds to carry them, instinct to sustain them. Many never returned, yet their journeys expanded the known world. So too with the cosmos. The Voyager probes are our first canoes, drifting into interstellar waters, their sails powered by gravity and chance. They may never reach new islands, yet their presence declares that humanity has already launched into the galactic sea. The ocean is vast, but it is not empty. Beneath its surface teem currents and creatures, dangers and marvels. The cosmos mirrors this truth. Between stars lie nebulae, comets, rogue planets, rivers of dark matter. Radiation storms flare like tempests. Black holes lurk like whirlpools, drawing everything into silence. Yet alongside danger lie wonders. New worlds glowing with possibility, stars pulsing like beacons, galaxies rising like distant coasts. Outside the solar system, the ocean is peril and promise in equal measure. And like the sea, the universe calls. Sailors speak of the pull of horizon, the ache to see what lies beyond. Astronomers feel the same, an irresistible desire to cross the boundaries of knowledge, to sail into the unknown. It is not greed or conquest. It is longing. The ocean demands to be crossed. The stars demand to be reached. Outside the solar system, longing itself is compass. Navigation in the cosmic sea is unlike Earth's oceans. There are no winds, but there are streams of radiation, currents of gravitational waves, tides of cosmic expansion. To sail this sea requires new vessels. Light sails catching photons, ships driven by fusion or antimatter, probes riding magnetic fields. Each is a mast against eternity, a way to move through waters vaster than imagination. Outside the solar system, technology becomes seamanship. And as in earthly voyages, discovery reshapes identity. Islands once distant become part of maps, part of trade, part of culture. So too with stars. Each world discovered becomes part of humanity's heritage, a new chapter in the story of belonging. One day, colonies may rise like ports, linked across light years, sharing goods, stories, music. The galaxy may become an ocean crossed not by empires, but by communities of mariners bound by shared voyage. Outside the solar system, identity becomes seafaring. The ocean humbles. Its storms remind us of fragility. Its depths remind us of limits. So too the cosmos. For every new discovery, we uncover greater mystery. For every island found, 1,000 more shimmer beyond reach. Yet humility is not defeat. It is wisdom. To sail humbly is to survive. To explore with reverence is to thrive. Outside the solar system, humility is our anchor. And what of memory? Sailors carve stories into song and map. Humanity, too, must leave logs of its voyages. Archives etched into probes, stories carried by travelers, signals cast across the waves of space. These are our star charts, our sextants, our myths. They ensure that those who follow will not be lost, that our presence will be remembered, that the ocean will know it was crossed. Outside the solar system, memory is compass. Perhaps the greatest truth of the ocean is that it is never truly crossed. For every coast reached, another lies beyond. The same is true of the universe. No matter how far we sail, there will always be further waters, further islands, further horizons. Completion is impossible. The voyage is endless, and that is its meaning. Outside the solar system, the journey is destination. So what lies outside the solar system? An ocean without shore, islands of stars, continents of galaxies, storms of light and silence. A sea where humanity is both fragile raft and daring sailor, guided by longing, humbled by immensity, carried by currents of time. The solar system is our first harbor. The universe is the sea entire. And we are sailors forever setting out, forever chasing the horizon. Outside the solar system, the universe stretches not only as ocean or labyrinth, but as desert, immense, silent, immeasurable. It is a wilderness of dust and void, heat and cold, radiance and shadow. To look outward is to see distances so vast that they resemble dunes upon dunes, horizons that never end. The desert of space is not barren in the sense of lifeless, but barren in the sense of overwhelming solitude. And into this silence, we walk as wanderers. Every desert has oases. In the cosmic wilderness, stars are such oases, fountains of light, warmth, and possibility. Around them may circle planets, some barren rocks, others green with life, still others waiting for the touch of imagination to bloom. Each star is a well in the darkness, a place where matter gathers, where energy flows, where life may drink. Between them stretch gulfs of cold, vast sand seas of interstellar night. Outside the solar system, stars are wells in the desert of infinity. To cross such desert requires endurance. Caravans in earthly deserts moved from oasis to oasis, guided by stars above. So too with interstellar travel. Ships will one day move from star to star, each a resting place on the endless road. Routes will form, like trade paths across sand seas, linking civilizations across the galaxy. Between them, silence will reign. The interstellar desert demands patience, but it rewards with connection. Outside the solar system, we will become nomads of the stars. The desert teaches humility. The scale dwarfs the traveler. The silence strips away illusion. In the cosmic desert, galaxies themselves seem like mirages, shimmering patterns of light, distant yet beckoning. The more we look, the more horizons recede. We realize how small we are, yet also how persistent. For survival in desert requires resilience, and humanity has always found resilience in the harshest places. Outside the solar system, humility becomes survival, and deserts hold mystery. At first glance, they seem empty, yet those who dwell in them know they are alive with subtle life, hidden in crevices, blooming in sudden bursts after rain. So too with the cosmos. What appears void may conceal worlds. What appears barren may shelter life unlike our own. Perhaps civilizations bloom rarely, like desert flowers, appearing briefly, brightly, before vanishing again. Perhaps the silence we hear is not absence but dormancy. Outside the solar system, possibility hides in the sand. To walk a desert is to walk in meditation. The monotony of sand and sky strips thought to essentials. So too with the cosmos. Gazing into deep space forces us to confront elemental truths. That we are finite, that time is vast, that wonder is necessary. The cosmic desert does not distract. It focuses. It asks, what will you carry across this wilderness? What stories, what hopes, what dreams will survive the crossing? Outside the solar system, exploration is pilgrimage through silence. Caravans leave traces, paths worn into sand, markers for those who follow. Humanity must do the same in the cosmic desert. Probes, signals, archives. These are our cairns, our signposts in the infinite. They will guide future travelers, reminding them that they are not alone, that others passed before. Even if our voices fade, the stones we place in the desert of stars will endure. Outside the solar system, legacy is trail, but deserts also offer beauty. The night sky over dunes is clear, filled with stars so bright they feel near enough to touch. In space, the beauty multiplies, nebulae glowing like hidden gardens, galaxies stretched like jeweled carpets across blackness. The desert of the cosmos is severe, but it is also sublime. Its emptiness magnifies every spark, every flicker of light, every sign of life. Outside the solar system, beauty is heightened by silence, and deserts change those who cross them. Wanderers return transformed, stripped of illusion, filled with reverence for water, for shade, for life. Humanity's crossing of the cosmic desert will do the same. We will return to Earth or to new worlds with deeper gratitude for what sustains us, with greater awareness of fragility, with humbler reverence for existence. Outside the solar system, transformation is inevitable. So what lies outside the solar system? A desert vast, silent, endless. Oases of stars, caravans of ships, mirages of galaxies, blossoms of life rare and precious. The solar system is our first oasis. The universe is the desert entire. And we are nomads walking across eternity, seeking not only water, but meaning, not only survival, but wonder. Outside the solar system, the universe begins to look like an infinite library. Each star is a volume bound in light, each galaxy a vast reading hall, each nebula a scriptorium where new texts are being written. The shelves stretch endlessly in every direction, their scale beyond comprehension. We wander between them, holding lanterns of science, searching for stories written long before us, stories that may shape who we become. In this cosmic library, stars are not silent. They are chronicles. Their light carries records of fusion, gravity, and age. A single photon traveling across centuries is a page turned, revealing the conditions of its birth. By decoding that light, we read their autobiographies, temperature, size, composition, history. To look at a star is to open a book written in energy. Outside the solar system, every point of light is literature waiting to be read. Galaxies are archives. They contain billions of stellar volumes, arranged in spirals, ellipses, and clusters. Each galaxy holds the memory of collisions, births, and deaths, a library of civilizations of stars. To study them is to walk through endless aisles, pulling down tomes written in gas and dark matter, annotated with black holes, illuminated with nebulae. Outside the solar system, the archives are not closed. They are alive, expanding, rewriting themselves in every moment. And what of planets? They are diaries, intimate, particular, filled with details of weather, geology, chemistry, and perhaps life. Some pages are blank deserts of rock. Others are inked with oceans, forests, and storms. Earth is one such diary, its entries written in fossils, strata, DNA. To discover exoplanets is to find more diaries, unopened volumes waiting on distant shelves. Some may contain stories stranger than any we can imagine. Outside the solar system, each world is a journal in the cosmic collection. Libraries are for readers, but they are also for writers. Humanity is both. We decipher the stories carried in starlight, and we add our own. Every signal broadcast, every probe launched, Every archive preserved becomes a book placed back onto the shelves of the universe. Voyager's golden record is one such volume, a message in sound and image. Our radio transmissions are another, faint but persistent, like whispered notes tucked into margins. Outside the solar system, we are apprentices in authorship. But a library is more than information. It is meaning. Books are not merely collections of words. They are vessels of culture, emotion, imagination. The same is true for the cosmos. Beyond raw data lies interpretation, context, story. A nebula is more than gas, it is metaphor for birth. A black hole is more than equation, it is symbol of mystery. The cosmic library is not sterile. It is alive with narrative. And we, as conscious beings, are not only archivists. We are storytellers translating silence into significance. Libraries also require memory. Without readers, without caretakers, books decay, words fade, meaning is lost. Humanity must carry this role on cosmic scale. We must preserve not only our own stories, but the stories of the universe itself. To study galaxies is to safeguard their memory, to ensure they are not forgotten even when their light eventually fades. Outside the solar system, we are custodians of narrative as much as explorers of distance. And what of forbidden sections, locked shelves, mysteries not yet opened, dark matter, dark energy, the fate of time itself? These are the closed wings of the library. We glimpse them in hints and shadows, but the books remain sealed. Perhaps one day new keys will open them, revealing texts that redefine existence. Or perhaps they will remain forever beyond reach, silent tomes reminding us that some knowledge lies always beyond the reader's grasp. Outside the solar system, mystery is part of the catalog. Libraries inspire reverence. To walk their halls is to feel the weight of accumulated wisdom, to know oneself as small but connected. So too with the stars. The more we read, the more we understand how little we know. Yet this humility is not defeat. It is invitation. Every unanswered question is a blank page, waiting for our voice. Outside the solar system, humility and creativity merge into a single act, the act of continuing the story. And what if we are not the only readers? Somewhere, other intelligences may walk their own aisles, pulling down volumes of light, writing their own books of civilization. Perhaps one day, shelves will converge, our stories meeting theirs, our texts bound together in dialogue. The library of the universe may not be divided. It may be shared, an interstellar collection of countless authors. Outside the solar system, culture itself may become galactic literature. But even if we never meet another reader, our role remains sacred. To exist at all is to be entrusted with words, with meaning, with story. The universe has written itself into being for billions of years. Now, through us, it reads itself. We are the eyes that turn its pages, the voices that recite its lines, the hands that write its future. So what lies outside the solar system? A library without end. Stars as books, galaxies as archives, planets as journals, mysteries as locked shelves. The solar system is our first reading room. The universe is the library entire. And humanity, fragile yet luminous, is both reader and writer, carrying the torch of story through the infinite stacks of eternity. Outside the solar system, the cosmos begins to resemble not only a library or an ocean, but something more intimate, a garden of dreams. Each galaxy is a dreamscape, each nebula a vision unfolding, each star a spark of imagination set loose into the dark. To gaze into the universe is to wander through someone's dream, or perhaps the universe's dream of itself. Dreams do not follow strict logic. They leap, they flow, they surprise. So too does the cosmos. Quasars burn brighter than entire galaxies. Black holes sing in gravitational tones we cannot hear. Entire worlds orbit stars too faint to see with naked eyes. These are not orderly footnotes of reality. They are visions, surreal and profound, emerging in ways we could never predict. Outside the solar system, reality behaves like dream work, strange, coherent, astonishing. And we, fragile creatures, become dreamers within the dream. Every telescope we build is an eyelid lifted wider. Every probe we send is an extension of imagination walking the corridors of possibility. When we envision life on other worlds, when we compose stories of alien skies, we are not merely speculating. We are planting dreams into the garden itself, dreams that may one day take root and blossom. Nebulae are the flowering beds of this dream garden. Clouds of gas collapse into stars, worlds, and perhaps even beings who will themselves begin to dream. To look at Orion's Nebula or the Eagle Nebula is to see imagination unfolding into matter, dream becoming tangible. Each new star is a candle lit in the garden. Each new world a chamber where stories might awaken. But dreams require dreamers. Without consciousness, the beauty of galaxies would remain unspoken, unnamed, unnoticed. Humanity is part of the garden's design, not separate from it. Our awareness is the soil in which cosmic visions grow meaning. Our stories, our art, our science, all are blossoms that rise from this soil. Outside the solar system, the dream is not passive. It is participatory, and perhaps other dreamers exist, scattered among the stars. If so, their visions mingle with ours in unseen ways, like fragrances drifting together in the same night air. Someday we may share our dreams across light years, exchanging visions of existence, weaving a tapestry richer than any one mind could conceive. The cosmic garden is vast enough to hold countless dreamers, countless flowers of thought. Yet even if we are alone, the dream remains sacred. To know that the universe has produced beings capable of wonder is miracle enough. We are starlight that imagines, atoms that tell stories, molecules that dream. In us, the universe gains a voice it never had. And that voice speaks not only of survival, but of awe, of curiosity, of beauty. Outside the solar system, wonder itself is destiny. It is not only stars, not only galaxies, not only distances measured in light years. It is metaphors made real. An ocean, a labyrinth, a theater, a desert, a library, a river, a garden of dreams. Each image is a way of touching the untouchable, of shaping the infinite into something the human heart can hold. The truth is that outside the solar system lies everything. All that was, all that is, all that will ever be. It is wilderness and cathedral, silence and music, chaos and order, dream and memory. It is the stage upon which humanity will learn what it means to endure, to create, to imagine. The solar system is our beginning, our prologue. Beyond it lies the unending story, and we, fragile, luminous, restless, are both its readers and its writers. We carry the gift of awareness into the dark, and in doing so, we turn void into vision. The question, what lies outside the solar system, is not answered by coordinates or catalogs. It is answered by us, by our courage to step outward, our imagination to see beauty, our humility to know we are part of something greater. For outside the solar system lies the universe, and within the universe lies us, and perhaps most profoundly, within us lies the universe.